Oh yeah, I did that. Okay, cool. Yeah.
By the way, you uploaded the show as 7:06, Stu, this week.
Did I?
Whoops.
7:05. I changed it now.
It's
Ah.
gonna cause serious consequences.
Yeah, we had several people complain.
Did we?
Well,
Shit.
they need more hobbies.
Nobody complained. No one barely noticed.
No one even will have realised. It's fine.
Come on, Meg Pedal. This guy's salad is too warm.
Okay, that's why it doesn't work.
What else am I gonna look up?
Yeah, show notes, show notes. What have I been playing?
What have you been playing?
What have I been playing? That.
Oh God, people, don't put all this garbage all over your goddamn YouTube feed.
What else? What else? What else?
Oh, we actually live? I didn't realise we were live.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're live, people. There's no one in there, though. There's no one there.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know. Fucking tell people to come. Where is everybody?
Get fucked.
Here, people.
Here, people.
Nobody wants to listen to us anymore.
No, I don't blame them. I wouldn't listen to us if I was them.
Small podcasts are dead.
They are.
Celebrities do podcasts now. It's game over.
It is. We need to be from a 90s sitcom. Then we'd be okay.
Or, yeah, have done something with our lives.
Yeah, other than play games.
What 90s sitcom podcast are you talking about?
I don't know. I was just making something up because it sounded right. I don't know.
Far off though.
Well, they didn't really ever work on Friends.
Yeah, but if it wouldn't surprise me if they did like a Friends podcast with all the.
Yeah, if
cast
they did
and
like
stuff.
David Schwimmer did one, he'd be all right. I reckon he'd do okay.
It's doable because Always Sunny do one, and who else do one? The Office do one.
Exactly.
It's all bloody-
So you'd be fine.
It's game over for us. We're fucked.
We're fucked.
It's-
We had our time
we had
when
a
we were the
good-
only sort of amateur podcast
we were
at
the
the time.
only amateur podcast with the name Veteran Gamers,
That's right. We were.
based in Wolverhampton.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Preston, and
On the episode where Homer joins the Navy, Mo is telling him, here's all the parts of the sub that are out. And he says, never mind what's out, what's in? And he says,
Ice blended mocha drinks and David Schwimmer.
There you go.
Yes,
you
he
see,
is
David Schwimmer
ugly. He
was
is handsome
in.
in an ugly kind of way or something like that. It's a great phone.
Right, we ready to go or what? What's
I'm
happening?
ready. I've been
I'm ready.
we're ready.
You ready, Chini? Right, do it.
Ready.
Okay, should I do it now?
Yeah, just do it right now.
Do it.
Are you in a rush or something?
Do it.
We could also make the show like real short. That's a possibility.
Oh, we could start on time. There's a possibility.
Both. We could do both.
Yeah, we could do both of those, to be fair.
I'll be up for both. Yeah.
I think we just don't do it.
Just don't fucking do the show. Who cares?
That's not an
Who cares?
option.
Stu, you are wrong.
Welcome yo to the veteran gamers. Juju, Ginny,
We want Chili Willy! We want Chili Willy!
News, reviews, and an indie pick. Stu story time and Chinny's game breakers. Here comes Duke with sound bites.
Can I finish? Please, can I finish?
It's the veteran gamers.
Okay, I'm finished.
It's the veteran gamers.
You are technically correct. The best kind of correct.
It's the veteran gamers.
Shut the hell up!
Yeah, boy.
Killing zombies is great, but the Veteran Gamers
Switch
podcast
that
is
console
even
up
better.
before you have to press repeat, yo.
Who does the bell toll for?
Hello and welcome to episode 706 of the Veteran Gamers podcast.
Yeah, 706. What's happening, people? I'm Duke.
I'm Stu.
Chinny.
Yeah,
There you go.
we're
That was pretty
coming
good.
at you live on YouTube and Twitch. We are not military veterans. We're veterans of the gaming lifestyle, people. And this is not happiness and excitement you're hearing. This is redirected rage from
Oh, dear.
angry children on Rocket League. But that's okay because I'm letting it go. and you don't have to cling to your anger. Your anger might cling to you, but you don't have to cling to it. So you can always try to let it go, and sometimes it happens quickly, sometimes it happens slowly, but it will eventually happen.
Great.
So, how is everybody?
Grape.
Yeah, fine.
Great.
Brilliant.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm feeling a
Good, glad
bit
to hear
flat tonight. I'm feeling flat.
Feeling flat? Well,
Yeah,
let's
I need-
hear,
I don't know.
C.
What have you got? A
That's
pile of
just-
cushions behind you, Stu?
Oh, that's all the fucking garden furniture cushions. It's a nightmare, I tell you what. They're frigging
Rolling
everywhere.
your eye
The
over and
bloody
over again.
rain.
Oh, that's all it's
Here
done for
comes
2
the
weeks.
rain.
Solid. It's just rain,
Do you-
doesn't it?
This
We
is
don't
gonna
want to hear it.
be.
We haven't any rain. We are in a drought here.
This
Ugh.
is gonna be probably the worst July we've ever had for a long
Yeah,
time.
it has. For wetness,
For
it's just
pure. Like this
rain.
is like the worst summer July we've ever had. Surely for
Yeah.
rain.
Yeah, we had a
Well, would
great
you- here's the
June,
question,
can
though.
we say?
Would you
June
rather
was
have
amazing.
too much rain or like a drought with toxic air because of Canadian forest fires?
Drought with the
Yeah. I'd go
Yeah.
with a drought.
Really?
I want to be
personally.
close to death but hot.
Yeah, warm,
Warm.
comfortably warm.
Yeah.
I don't want it too hot, by the way. Can I just say I don't want it like so
Well, it's
hot
not too
that
hot
it's
here.
Sweating.
But in Arizona,
just
they
a
got
nice-
130
nice
temperatures on the
temperature.
regular. So
Arizona, Parazona, Warazona.
Yeah.
That's all I hear.
Honestly,
I don't know what's going in Arizona.
there's
I
only.
think it's
Do you know what,
fine.
Chinny? There's only one benefit of this weather. There's only one benefit.
The bloody
Crops?
the wheat. The wheat.
No, I don't have to water anything. That's
that's
a
true,
benefit.
yeah, yeah.
Don't have
So
to go
crops,
water
yeah.
pots
My
every
my
night.
weeds are growing very well, I have to say.
Yeah, my garden's grown.
I feel
can't
like I
mow
feel like
it.
I'm getting judged. You know what I mean? Because
Oh.
people look at my garden and they go, "Oh, these new neighbours now don't do."
They're not looking after it like the
there
old
goes the
ones did.
neighborhood.
Yeah.
There goes it. Look at these scruffy bastards are getting
Yeah.
weeds in my garden because they've got weeds in their garden.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I just like,
Welcome to the Garden Corner on Veteran Gamers.
Ugh,
Oh, it's true, dude.
I
It's
need
true.
Diane round, dude. She'd sort. it
Yeah,
out,
you
she's
do.
all yeah, that sit on lawnmower.
know,
It should be
right?
done
She's
in
got a
10
green
seconds.
thumb.
She-
She's turning half our yard into prairie out there.
I don't know how does she do it. Like, why? Like,
Because
does
she
not
loves
look at
it.
it
You
just
can
go,
tell
That's
she
what
loves
she
it.
finds enjoyable. Like
she
when,
loves
when
it.
she gets up in the morning, she's like, "All right, I'm gonna do this for the goats. I'm gonna take care of these chickens this way. I'm gonna plant this stuff. I'm gonna weed that stuff. I'm gonna."
Jesus Christ.
That's
Deal
her
with the
video
tarps.
games, Ginny. That's her
It is her
video.
video games, exactly.
But the thing
like-
is about video games is they're fun.
Well,
this
she
is fun
finds
for her.
out fun.
Everybody's fun is different.
It's not fun
Everybody,
for her.
no two people like the exact same video games, and no two people had the exact same.
This is why,
recreational
Ginny,
activity.
I got rid of all the back garden because
Yeah.
people who find weeding fun are
Oh, they're
deluded.
insane. They're
Oh
insane.
yeah, says the man who
deluded.
spent like 5 hours playing Lawnmower Simulator.
That's not the point,
Dude.
right?
Stu, you are wrong.
Yeah, it's okay if it's
Deluded.
virtual weeding.
Yeah,
I want to go on the
virtual-
yard work
You don't have to
simulator.
weed
You
in-
are Bart
You just
Simpson. You
mow
are
lawns, you
literally
don't
Bart
weed
Simpson.
anything.
right
What
now.
are you going on about? You're on
Oh,
crack.
Stop
What's
it.
the matter with
See,
you?
I want to get rid of like half our garden, Stu, because like we got like a lawn that's like 2 levels. You know what I mean? Like a lawn and then a step and then a lawn. And
And
I'm
a
like,
lawn.
that back lawn, we could just turn that into a big fucking man cave decking.
Too right.
barn
Of course you
thing,
can.
you
You're
know.
allowed to
Is it
deck
really
at
a
least
man cave if it's
50% of your
outside?
garden, so you'll be
Well,
fine.
I was thinking about building a building out there. Not me, like men, like real men.
Oh, okay,
All right,
gotcha.
and then putting a snooker
Outdoor
table,
office. You could have an outdoor
Ooh,
office.
snooker
put a
table,
snooker
okay.
table there and a pool table and a bar and like some
Car
stuff.
table.
But like
I
the,
like
the,
it.
the
Like
sun
it. Arcade
stays
cabinets.
there longer, you see. So I sort of justified by well, the sun stays out there longer, so you can sit out there and just have a nice little wine or whatever.
There you go.
Nice
Make a little
little wine, says
three-season
the
porch.
teetotaler.
No, for her.
Yeah. Says the
Ah.
man with a wife who's pregnant who shouldn't be
She's
drinking
not going
wine.
to be drinking wine now, you div. I'm not going to make it in 2 months, am I?
Do it in 1 week and then just
you know what I
start
mean?
Yeah,
plugging the
yeah.
wine.
It ain't going to
into
be
it.
there in 2 months, is it?
Well,
Stu?
get out there.
You mean
and
to
have
say
some
that
wine.
women
Don't
can
care
drink
if you're
after they give
pregnant.
birth?
It's
What?
Get that red wine down, you know. What's
It's
the matter with you?
obviously like there's no way I'm going to build a fucking building by 2 months, Stu. What the fuck? What crack are you on?
I'll be honest with you, Chidi. I doubt you'll build a building in 2 years.
I doubt I'll build it at all.
In 2 decades, you
I would-
might build it.
I
I
would
don't
pay
know.
Oh
men
wow!
to
It's
do
like
it.
on 30 Rock when the woman gives the guy, the woman advice for how much she can drink during when she's pregnant.
1 bottle of wine a day, and that's it.
There you go.
There you go, 1 bottle of wine. All right. Anybody got a story they want to tell?
Yes, I've got one.
Oh,
I've got
God.
one.
My favorite time. It's story time. Story,
Because we
story
are,
time.
attention listeners, we are keeping this show crisp and
Yeah,
tight. We're going
apparently-
to
We are.
apparently
Chris.
We can't shoot
Chris.
on the show. of
No,
course.
no,
Crispy.
we can't talk about it anymore. I've said it. We're
Crispy
moving. Go, Stu,
bacon.
story.
That's what it's
You've got
gonna be.
2 minutes for your story. Go ahead.
Okay, it's very quick. Yeah, it was Prime Day on Amazon, so I thought Jeff Bezos needed some more cash
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
because he's short of a bob or two. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yes.
that guy must struggle.
1
to
minute,
make
45
ends
seconds.
meet. No,
We get the joke,
food.
Stu.
Anyway,
What did you fucking buy?
I bought an Echo Studio. Right?
What the
Okay.
hell is an Echo Studio?
So an
It's like
Echo
a fucking
Studio
Alexa thing, isn't it?
is the biggest Echo you can get. So it's a big chunky thing of a thing.
You want a
Uh,
big, huge robot that listens to you all the time.
But the only reason, right?
Yes.
No, you can turn it off. You can put the red light on and it can't
You
hear
can
you
turn it
anymore.
off.
It's always turned on, Stu.
Always listening, even if you think it's not.
It's always
Um,
listening.
But the reason I got it is because apparently they make a really good Dolby Atmos speaker for your like TV and film viewing.
The speaker listens to you masturbate and cry at the same time.
Does. So I thought,
Maybe
you
that's
know
his
what?
kink, man. We shouldn't be kink shaming.
It was reduced to 160 quid, which is like there's no Dolby Atmos speaker anywhere near that amount of money. Like
So you got a
soundbar.
speaker for $160 that also listens to you.
So it
constantly.
listens to me while I'm watching me. But right,
Okay.
but we tried it out last night. We've rigged it up to the Fire Stick because I've got another Amazon device. I've got lots of Amazon devices.
You
Do you know what I
really
said?
love
I have no.
giving Jeff money, don't
You know what I
It's
said?
just
I
an
have no
Amazon
brand
fanboy,
loyalty
that's all.
last week.
Oh, no,
I
yeah, you
have a
love
lot of
Amazon,
Amazon
yeah.
devices. I have a lot of Amazon devices. But Fire Stick combined with this studio is something else, right? Normal telly sounds all right. It sounds fine. But the moment you like rig that thing up with the Fire Stick, the bass is ridiculous
Do you not
without
have a
having an
soundbar?
actual
Do you not- did you
subwoofer.
not
Are you
have a
all
sound-
about that bass?
Stu, did you not have a soundbar before?
I did have a soundbar, but it wasn't as good as this.
Oh, okay.
The trouble with the soundbar, right? I had a really good soundbar and it broke.
Yeah.
And then I got a new one, which was all right, but wasn't as good as the old one. Listen, just
All
let
right,
me
that's
finish.
it. 2 minutes. Moving on.
I do have-
Okay,
no,
should we
no,
talk
no.
about what we've been playing?
No,
No, 2 minutes.
Which wasn't as good as the old one.
He's got to
Yeah,
get
it
up at
is.
5:30.
Shut up. But it turns
How
out
much
that
is
only
it?
the capacitor had gone on it, right? So I took
It
it, to
doesn't
the
matter
little.
as long as he's talking.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as long as I'm talking.
Oh, I see.
So I
Okay.
took it to this little dude in Leyland who fixed it for me.
You're a
for
little
about
dude in Leyland.
£100.
How the fuck did we get to this?
And then it worked for another 7 years, and then started making this weird rattling noise. So I
Bring
went
it back to the little
old
dude in
speaker.
Wayland.
Stu's the little dude in Leyland. Have you
Well,
seen
the old
this?
speaker's not as good, so I got a fucking Echo. All right, that's it. End of story.
Okay, can I tell you? I got a story
Okay.
actually. I got a story.
Go ahead.
Oh,
2
right.
minutes.
Gotta
Go.
We at my work, we sometimes have to film at schools. We have to film
Yes.
for this company that do outreach to schools to encourage kids to move, right?
Yes.
Which is a good thing. We'd all agree. Okay,
Why don't you not live where you are?
fine. We've probably filmed at about 30 of these schools, and I've probably filmed at 2 of them because
Yes.
I don't really go to these film things.
No, you just let the minions do it.
Right. It turns out, so I go to this one because circumstances and people can't go do stuff. I go to this one. It's in Birmingham, right? I go there. Guess who walks out?
The Queen.
David
But
Duchovny.
she's dead, so that'd be weird.
John Mouse.
The king.
John
John
Mouse. Oh
Mouse.
yeah, you
Oh,
told me. You
snap.
told me. Yeah, you told me you met him, didn't you?
What up, John Mouse?
John Mouse came out and went, "Are you Chinny from the Veteran Gamers? You're so famous and good looking." And I was like, "Listen, don't worry about it." John Mouse is in the chat right now. Thank you, John. It was nice to
Yay.
see him at work in his suit, looking like a bloke.
I know, looking
like a real
guy.
Teaching
Yeah.
for life.
An adult. He looked like an
Little-
adult worker.
Little does everybody know, I know that Johnny's just faking it until he's making it. So it was good to see John, and well, we might as well say it now. We're having a guest on next week because Duke is not
Yeah. And we should say we're
Hello,
on Monday night instead
Florida.
of Sunday
Oh, we're on
night
Monday next
because
week.
I'm away as well.
Oh, you're
So I'm
away. I thought Duke
Yeah,
was away.
no, I'm away on
Oh, you're
Sunday
away.
too.
So we're recording the show next week on Monday, and John's going to be our guest because we thought it would be apt, seeing as I saw
Yeah, it
him in
would.
real.
Be nice to have
Yes.
John on. Be
Yeah,
like
spoke to John
John.
for a while.
cat?
Yeah.
And then me and John talked about like getting some food in Brum and getting maybe, I don't know, John Nezzy and
So
maybe
is it
Chris
fair to
MJW
say
or
you
something.
want a man from Brum?
Has he actually timed it? Has Duke actually timed the 2 minutes? Is that what he's
Yes.
done? Right, I'm
2
doing
minutes
it.
are up. Moving on.
See, Duke, efficient. That was it. They're done.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that.
Thank
Thank you. All
We should do that
right.
on the
Where are you
games.
going? Story time's over, isn't it?
What you been playing?
All right. Who wants to
Nice.
start?
I'll
Brilliant.
start.
Go.
Go ahead.
I played Fist Forge in Shadow Torch. Didn't like it.
Uh,
Stopped playing it.
Oh,
This
come
is the one
away,
we
man.
played
You were
last
saying you were
week.
loving it last week. What
I liked it
happened?
last week. No, I did not like it.
So what happened? Why?
All right,
didn't
this
you
is
like
actually
it?
the meat and potatoes of the show. This is why
Oh.
people tune in.
Right.
You don't want to make this
Sorry.
too brief.
No, I wanted
Yeah,
to make
yeah.
it brief.
We
I-
like games. Fuck you.
It-
Stop listening.
you play as Rabbit with Fist. Don't like it no more.
Yes.
Gameplay got boring.
Did it get boring?
It got
Is it-
boring.
it-
Yeah, I think so. I think I got bored of it, and I don't think it got hard. I just got bored. Let me see if I.
That's what she said.
Let me see if I wrote any notes down.
We just watched Beavis and Butthead Do America last night,
Oh,
so I'm
yeah.
in full Beavis and Butthead.
Roller coaster.
The Duchess was laughing a lot. We were talking at dinner about how she never found it funny, but she was like, I think that might have been because I was too young. Like, it just, I don't know what it was. But anyway, she's like, I might enjoy it now. And I was like, well, we should watch the movie tonight. She's like, they made a movie? I'm like, yeah, they did. And we're watching it tonight. And
Yep.
she enjoyed it. So.
I watched that in year 7 at school, which is like,
It's such a good movie.
you know,
Yeah, that shows
I mean,
how old
when I
that
say good,
movie
it's like-
is.
It's fun. But
it's fun. It's fun. I like the
Crazy
bit,
old.
I like the bit with the
Crazy old like us.
when he
shush.
does the playing.
Come on, anyway. What happened with the fist?
The,
What
the
happened?
Fist.
Get out of the cockpit. You said no.
Yeah, so I just didn't I just didn't really like it anymore. I started to just get bored of it. I didn't like any of the characters. None of the story was interesting to me. I thought it was getting a bit repetitive, so I binned it off. I said, "Fuck this," and I'm done.
I ain't got
Don't
no
blame
time
you.
for this
Fuck
shit.
this game.
At one
done.
time, Chinny, you would have persevered and finished that game eventually.
Well, but
wouldn't
I'm a dad now. I'm a dad.
But
I'm
you're
a dad to
changed,
be.
man.
Well, you're not. I
Change.
mean, not yet.
Well,
No,
mate,
yeah,
the
technically.
amount this baby's fucking kicking off in that belly. That baby is alive. He's just honestly, I felt him the other like today.
Yeah, but what are your dad duties?
Now,
though? That's the
what
question.
I
my
love
dad
about
duties is
you,
to put my
Chinny,
wife to bed to make sure that she's comfortable.
What I
Alright,
love
fair
about you,
enough.
Chinny, is unless you know now, but you don't know the sex of the baby. Last week you referred to it as a girl.
Did I?
This week you're referring to it as a boy.
I've never referred to the baby as a girl.
Maybe he's leaving
You
things
did last
open
week.
so
You
that the
did say
kid can
something. You
decide
said
for
she
itself.
about. You did say
I,
she.
never,
at
I
one
always say
point,
he
so
about
you
the baby. I always say he.
No, I'm sure you said she.
What's the
like,
matter,
maybe I'm
kid?
wrong.
You got wax in your ears.
Because I said
This is
to
a very
Gail, he
important
said it
argument,
was
though.
a
We should
she.
keep
So
going
does
with
he
it.
know?
No, I don't know, but I always say I refer to the baby as a he because it's one letter less than she.
She.
So it's
Oh,
easier
okay.
to say, and it's
Yes.
you know when you're talking about the baby, it's easy just to assign a gender. Sorry. So yeah, the baby. I don't know what he's doing in there, like karate or like punching a punch, but he's kicking up.
Yeah.
And Tara said, because you're encouraged to talk to the bump, right? Because apparently
Sure.
the baby can recognize voices even when it's in the
Yeah.
womb, right? So you want to sort of try and bond with the baby as soon as possible. So we're talking to the baby. I give the baby updates. I tell him about the podcast and whatever. And Tara says you should play the guitar because it recognizes music and stuff to the baby. As I started
Nice.
playing the guitar, the baby was kicking off. Now I don't know if this is a sign of
He was banging his head like, yeah.
like he was into it or please stop playing the guitar. I hate it. So I have no idea what that is. But yeah, baby is the baby.
Baby's
is
alright.
Well,
just
at
having a bit of a
at a
boogie.
concert, if the crowd is sitting there still, that's not what you want. So I think it's the.
I think it's
Yeah,
mosh
it's a
pit.
good sign.
Yeah, the
Yeah, it's a
baby
good
is
sign.
babying. Right
trying
now.
to start a mosh pit. That's what he's doing. He's like,
I remember when Kay was in labour and the woman in the bed across from us said, "Oh, if you want to get it moving, get yourself to delivery suite. Go and have a hot bath."
That's literally
Right.
like the worst thing you can do in.
Right. So we was like, okay, then. So we went to have a bath, right? And it did the alien thing. So it's like
it burst
yeah,
out
it's
of
so-
her stomach.
No,
and
but it
started-
poked up like when it
killing
was like
people?
trying to get away from
Oh.
the water, and it's
Oh, I
like
see. Okay.
bump
Well,
appeared in the middle of her belly. Yeah, it was very odd.
It had another thing come out of its mouth and eat another person's face.
Yeah, it did that. Did
and
that
then
too.
started singing, "Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello."
What a
my
strange
honey."
thing for a baby to do.
I know. it was
All
very
right.
odd.
Anything else
Very
about
odd.
Fist? Finally,
Yeah, we
Nah,
haven't
I
heard
just-
really very
stupid-
much.
I just
about
didn't
it.
like it.
Boring.
I played it a little bit
Boring.
more. I played it a little bit more, and I went,
Okay, fair
I think
enough.
I'm going to try and finish this. And then about an hour later, I was like, I can't be fucking bothered.
I'm
with
not
it.
finishing this.
I just
shit.
couldn't be bothered. Could it be any more than that?
It's not bad. It's just meh.
I couldn't be asked.
It's just
Okay.
a bit meh,
It's
is what
just
I
a
think.
bit meh.
Okay.
Bit meh.
Stu, what about you? What have you been playing this past
Well,
week?
I'm glad that you asked that, Duke, because
Well, I
I've
ask
not been
everyone.
very busy this week. But
All right. So
Uh,
you got 20 games to talk about.
I've been trying to sort of finish all these little indie games. So I did go back to Planet of Lana.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Planet of Lana.
You don't have a reputation for not finishing.
I know.
stuff,
Do you know what's weird though? This
Yeah.
year, I'm not. I've only finished one really big game, and that was obviously Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You only
but
finished
I-
that because I said that you'd never finish it.
Yeah, I know.
Honestly,
But no,
I
I,
think,
it was
I
spite.
think that was probably the majority of your motivation.
no,
to
no, I
finish it.
did actually. No, I did get into the gameplay loop of that, and I really enjoyed it. And
Don't
it's just a
fuck
good
with
game.
me. Don't
It's
fuck
just a
with me,
fucking
man.
good game, man. It's a fucking good game.
That's a really good game.
It just hooked me in, whereas most stuff hasn't. Even Legend of Zelda, I've not gone back to yet.
Yeah, you've not finished that, have you, really?
No, I've not even gone back to it. I've got.
You're
What's
a bad,
weird
a
is-
bad gamer.
What's weird is I got to Hyrule, which is obviously, it takes you a couple of hours to get there, 2 or 3 hours or whatever. And then that was it. I got to where I was supposed to get to, and then I've not played it since. I don't know. It's a bit weird. Don't know why.
It is a bit weird.
Don't know why. Don't know why.
Tell me why.
But I'm kind of enjoying just finishing these little games that only take 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a sense of
it-
accomplishment.
yeah, and you're not going to have to make a massive investment of time to finish them.
That's
So did
true.
you finish?
No, I haven't. No.
Big on
So
a
that's
wall?
it.
Even though you'd have to make a small
That's the
investment, I'm still
problem.
not doing that.
Yeah,
either.
the good thing about playing these indie games too is that you can just finish them. Did you finish them? No.
No, this is actually. This
But he
is,
will.
Yeah, I will do eventually. I will do eventually.
Okay. It's not a shame
Uh,
in not finishing a game.
But I'm
you
kind
know?
of enjoying it. I like the mechanics. I've just, I've got to this bit where you have to start messing around with the water levels and stuff to get it
Oh,
to
yeah.
work, which is kind of cool.
You got that weird
So it's
sort of
not-
thing
I'm not
that
much-
sucks up the water shit. is that
Yeah,
it?
I'm a bit just a bit further on from where this is now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's this thing that I can suck up the water and expel it as well. So you have to start messing around with that sort of mechanic. I like the way that, as simplistic as this game is, it does keep adding stuff in.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
varied enough to keep you interested.
This is it now, the water thing.
Yeah, this is it now. This is the water sucker.
Oh,
The water
Yes.
sucker.
For the audio
Uh,
listeners, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Just imagine some water and then something
and
sucking it up.
some what looks like a giant rock that sucks shit up
Yeah.
and spits it
Right.
back out. Yeah.
Mm.
That being said, I'm definitely going to finish it because I am enjoying it, and I don't think it's that long.
No, it's about 4 hours.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a huge
hear it's
time
4 hours.
investment.
Yeah, I've heard it.
But the trouble is, right, and I don't want to say it too loud because she's only in the other room.
Uh-oh.
The only trouble is Kay's off work at the moment because she's on
Bloody
her like
shit.
I know 4 weeks, so she's having 4 weeks holiday.
Oh,
Because she
God,
still
bitches,
does.
am I
This is
right?
the funny thing is,
Bitches,
right?
man.
She still does term time to look after Millie while she's off
Ugh.
school.
Oh, God.
And Millie's 21 and working full
Why
time,
is
so it's a
that-
bit of
why is
a
that a
like,
problem?
what's going on there?
What is
She
the
wants a little
problem?
extra time to spend with her family? What the
I
fuck?
know.
Yeah, so she's
Is
basically
that
at
the
home.
complaint?
It makes
Yeah, because
you
on-
sick.
On days off, I have to do stuff. I can't just play
Oh,
video
God.
games. You know what I mean?
See,
Oh,
see, this is why you need to
I
find
know.
yourself a lady who has some interest out there
I know.
that's gonna suck up all her
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
and
This
then
is
you
trouble.
can
You
play
see,
games.
Kay don't do hobbies really either.
I know.
Well,
She's not a
that
big
sounds like a
hobby
you problem.
person.
So, yeah.
You need to be more
Yeah.
boring.
So this
If
weekend.
she
so-
was like, okay, I
Yeah,
could either
yeah, go on.
stab myself in the legs with this knitting needle over and over again, or I could spend time with Stu.
See, this weekend, right?
Yeah,
I had to
yeah.
look after my 4-year-old niece and take her to the
Oh
park.
God!
park and stuff
Oh,
like
it's a
that.
nightmare.
And because she's so selfish, she won't let me just play video games and just sit there and watch it. You know, it's just so rude about her being.
I
the
think
worst.
it is. I just
See, whereas I'm gonna go
kids
see my
these
nephew in
days.
Florida, and he's gonna ask me to sit and watch him play Pokemon. So like, that'll be fine.
That'd be
I'll
fine.
pretend to watch and I'll read, and it'll be great.
Oh, these kids! I tell you, they're so selfish
Kids.
these days. They're
Uncle Eric,
self-centered. Oh,
Watch me do this. Stop reading your book.
Yeah, it's
Uncle
great.
Eric.
You did a great job with that Charizard.
You're not really watching me, Uncle Eric.
No, I am not.
Right. Anyway,
I would never insist
Planet
that you do
Alana.
something you don't want to do.
yeah, Planet Lana is good. It's good. I think it's a good game. It's fairly solid and it's not a massive
Yes.
time investment, and it's good.
The big takeaway is it doesn't take too long.
It doesn't take too long to play. That's
It's
my
like
motto
torture.
these days.
It's like it doesn't take too long. It's all
No,
right.
it doesn't take too long. I think that I think that's my thing now. If it doesn't take too long, it's good.
So torture then,
Okay.
short torture.
Yeah, torture is fine.
Short
So
torture.
Snake
like
is the best game ever made.
Fingernails being pulled out's all right. That's
Yeah.
pretty quick.
A sneeze.
Okay.
It's quite short, isn't it? So it's all
Yeah,
right.
sneeze is good. Sneeze is good.
Yeah.
You know, anything like
Your
that. I'm
own,
trying to
your
think.
own penis.
Your own penis. A quick poo. A quick poo. That's pretty good. Quick poo.
All right. Well, this is not let's sit and list things that don't take very long. All right. Anything else to say about Planet of Lana? No? All right,
No.
my turn. Okay. Early shout out to Antonio cool because we played some more Rocket League, and that's always fun. What is not as much fun is playing with randos because they're so angry, and it's
So angry.
whatever. That's part of why I'm mad right now.
randos.
But it's okay. I'm letting go of my.
How are
anger.
you
So,
Diamond 1? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, someone on Reddit mentioned Skyrim, and I was like, ooh, it's been a while since I started a new playthrough on Skyrim. I'm gonna start a new playthrough on Skyrim.
So interesting.
And then I said to myself, while I was making my character, I was like, I bet there are mods where you can have more hairstyles. Let me ask y'all a question. Have you ever
God.
played a video game and thought, I would like to have some more hairstyles?
No, do you know why, Duke? I'll tell
Okay,
you why.
well, no, it was a yes or no question. So the
because
follow-up
in
question
fucking
then
Skyrim,
is,
you
shut
barely
up, shut
see your
up,
character.
shut-
What's the point?
You're so wrong. When
no, I'm
you
not.
have a
It's
kill cam,
pointless.
Just let it talk.
and
All right,
you're
I'll let it
wrong.
go. I'm not
What-
wrong. It's
do you-
pointless.
God, stop it, you two, before I start.
I'm just going to be silent for about a minute every time you say, I'm not wrong, even when I'm trying to explain why you're wrong. Because you are factually wrong. You have kill cams once in a while that pull back and show your character inflicting awesome damage on the enemy.
With
right?
awesome hair.
Right. Okay. So the question is, have you ever played a game and wished, I wish I could have more hairstyles? No? Well, have you ever thought, I wish I could have 850 more hairstyles?
Yeah.
Because that's this mod. It's
Wow.
called KS Hairstyles, and it's got, I'm not kidding, 850 hairstyles. It's ridiculous. So what I've done is I installed it, and then I limit myself to once a day, but not a game day, one real life day. Once a day I can go in and like choose a new hairstyle, and a lot of them are styles that I'm not interested in. Like I'm not, I don't want some flowing long thing, or sometimes they have those weird Japanese styles where it's like got bells and shit hanging off of your hair. I'm not interested in that. But there are some cool styles that I've been using, so it's been fun to play around with KS Hairstyles.
Can I explain the video that we're watching here, Duke?
Yeah.
Sure.
So basically, for the audio listeners, we're watching a female character in Skyrim just sort of standing there, and it's 5 minutes of cycling through hairstyle.
The
whole video.
850 styles
850
available.
different hairstyles, yeah.
Like the
Do you know,
woman, the avatar, the woman in it looks bored.
She does look
She
bored.
does look bored.
She looks totally bored.
She's like,
No,
every
she
time-
looks driven by rage.
She's like,
That's what she
how
is.
long do I have to stand here with these hairstyles, for fuck's sake?
It's me.
Do you know,
Yeah.
Kay used to work with a guy who was bald, right?
Yes.
And he had 3 wigs. And one was
Nice.
like long, one was short, and one was intermediate. And he'd like pretend his hair was growing, then come with a short one on and go, I went for an haircut yesterday. And I was like,
Nice.
no, you didn't.
Well, he would love this.
It's a wig.
Mod. Yeah, I also downloaded a mod with new swords and new armor. I'm not going to go through that because there's nothing to say about it. They look cool. It adds more variety to the game. I love it. One of the things that I don't love quite so much is the Saints and Seducers add-on, which they provided with the Anniversary Edition. And the final boss in that quest line is a punk biatch. God, I hate this guy. His name is Thoron, and he has this helmet that replenishes your magicka 100%. So it's like he just constantly has magic. He can just keep spamming the most powerful spells over and over again. And I had to drop the difficulty down. I was just like, I don't have a
you
choice.
wuss.
Yeah, well, I care a lot about what other people think about what level I play my games on. So,
Well,
go
so
ahead,
I'm
make
watching
fun of
this
me.
video and I skipped to the sort of.
This is still the hairstyles.
I
This
skipped
is
to the
men's hairstyles.
I skipped to the
Yes.
man portion, the male
Yes.
character.
Yes.
Basically, every hairstyle here, like, is a hairstyle of a fucking idiot, right?
Yeah, why?
Yeah,
just a
you gotta
minute.
look
Why
at
are the
Chad, man.
beanie hats in
And
the
then there was
Skyrim?
beanie hats on one.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Why not? Everything's in Skyrim.
I want to go to
Yeah.
the Skyrim beanie hat shop.
Yeah, where's the
There you
beanie
go.
hat
Do you reckon
shop?
there's a vape?
Everything's for sale, my friend.
Do you reckon there's a vape shop in
Yeah, there's a
probably
mod for that.
Some
What are
mod.
you
Hey,
talking
I'm gonna look it
about?
up now
There
live
has
on
to
the
be.
podcast.
I bet there's
If
a mod for vaping in
There's
Skyrim.
got to be a good name for a vape shop in Skyrim. What is that joke? There's got to
Oh,
be.
no results for vape. What about vaping?
What about
Duke, there's
No
gotta-
vaping in Skyrim.
Duke,
Oh my
Duke,
god.
There's got to
What?
be a funny name for a vape
what
shop
about
in
dragon
Skyrim.
vapors?
I'm sure there is. I would need to look through stuff.
Vape
Somebody out
Radar.
there.
No, Vape Radar. Got it. Done it.
No.
Vapor
Fruce and
Radar.
vape do not sound similar.
Well, it's, it's
Anyway, whatever. Maybe I'll think of one later. The point is, Thoron sucks and I hate him. I had to drop the difficulty down. But here's a funny story about difficulty. When I started my playthrough, I was just slaughtering people because I always choose. Well, lately I choose I have a mod called Live Another Life where you pick something other than the vanilla beginning of the game. The vanilla beginning of the game is you're about to be beheaded, the dragon comes and kills everybody, and then you escape. This Live Another Life has all these different options for how you start off your adventure, and I like to choose the one where you're left for dead out in the wild, because you start off with nothing, literally nothing. So you have to like run around and get, flowers and sell those to get 2 gold, and then you can buy a stick to kill monsters with, and then you sell the wolf pelt for the first wolf you kill. It's a way of building yourself up from nothing. It's a new kind of challenge. Anyway, so I was just having such an easy time of it. I was like, I'm so good. I'm getting really good at this game because I have it on Adept. There's like 5 difficulty levels, and I'm at that 3rd one. So I looked at the difficulty, and I was like, "Oh no!" I guess it defaults to easy, the easiest level. So I was like, "Well, no wonder I'm having an easy time." So I bumped it up, and so that made it more challenging. But
It's
then
one
when
of
I
the
got to
options
Thoron,
where you start off in like a sort of gimp party with a gimp mask on.
no, but you can start off as like a vampire in a vampire den. So that's probably as close as you can get.
What about one where you
there's-
start on like a rotisserie, like you're on it?
What, being
No,
roasted
yeah,
alive?
Yeah, you're being
is that what
roasted
you're
alive.
saying?
No,
Yeah.
just in jail.
That'd be good though, wouldn't it? That'd be good. Like that'd be a good start. Like you're on a rotisserie, like people are cooking you.
I
People
don't know how
cooking
you
you,
get
you're
away
like,
from that, but
Jesus
you know,
Christ! And then, but
sure.
then like a dragon comes and goes, "I'll have a bit of those," like, and then you sort of roll away. Like on
What
this
if
rotisserie.
the
default
dragon's
ending, the
roasting
default
you?
start.
What if the dragon's providing the
What,
flavor?
Dragon's
Ro-
like, hey,
Yeah.
way to be a dragonborn.
Hey, with
You
this
suck
with
at
this
it."
haircut,
that different kind of
hey,
roast.
you gotta fucking be joking, huh? I don't know what.
So Skyrim is my happy place. It's not a perfect game, but it is the game that makes me really happy.
If you
But I
could
had a
have-
couple of crash to desktop
no.
crashes, which is really annoying. So it's one of those games where you have to just spam this quick save all the time. Whatever. I don't want to get into the Solitude Skyway, which I could talk about in another mod, but I'm going to wrap it up here because I know we're all.
If you could
pressed
have
for
like the
time.
Matrix, like needle in the head sort of treatment, would you go to Skyrim? Would you?
No, I like my real world. Escapism is fun to escape.
No
briefly, but I
choice,
wouldn't-
Duke. There's no choice. You have to have a needle in your head.
Well,
Like
well
that.
then I'll choose this life exactly like the one I have
no,
now.
no, that's not a video.
I want tasty wheat to taste like tasty wheat.
Mm.
All right, who's next?
I think it's Ginny. Ginny, of
Jenny,
course.
what you got next?
I've been playing. I've been addicted to bloody Mario Maker 2.
Oh God, he's
Oh,
back
snap.
in hook,
It's
line,
me,
and
Mario.
sinker.
I'll tell you what, and so I gave the level to Jamie, who just, he's responsible.
The play tester. You give it to the play
He's
tester.
the playtester, but he's responsible.
our
for
resident animationist.
all our artwork basically on the
Yes.
Steam. So Jamie, I said, Jamie, you need to test these levels because I need someone to look at them, and he did, and yeah, he looked at, because I thought this level was tight. Do you know what I mean? I thought this level was like, this is tight. There is no way to get
Yeah.
this better. This is why it's important to show things to you, to people that.
And
know
then
what
did
they're
he
doing.
give you like 3 pages of notes?
No,
did he?
well,
Oh.
you left screenshots and videos on my Switch.
Oh my
so,
God.
And he gave me notes, right? And he went,
That's
okay,
crazy.
basically, there's other niggly bits and bobs and whatever. He says, my biggest piece of feedback was like your boss fight is shit. Your boss fight is shit. It needs
Damn.
work. It's too easy. And I was like, oh, my boss fight is shit. Right. And I have to say, like, I've changed. I've now got 2 bosses, mid boss and then end boss. And I was like, fuck me. Like, this has improved my level, but almost like doubled the improvement. It's so much more fun now. And I was so happy to show it him. I was like, Jamie, you got to play it now, right? You got to play it now. It's so good now. And he played it and he was like, this is way better now. Way better. So I'm very, very close to finishing that one. I just need to add sound effects because you don't overdo it with sound effects, which is funny. We're quite ironic. Is ironic the good we use to that because of this show that I'll use sound effects?
If
Yeah,
I said
that's-
that, it would be
yes.
ironic. It's not ironic if you use it.
So yeah,
Duke, what's with all the sound bites?
so I'm gonna do that. I gotta, maybe add a few coins here and there, and then I'll publish it. Then I made another
Yeah.
level really, really quick, right? And it was just, I don't know. I like picking themes for my levels, so I like picking like, okay, this level is gonna have this, this, and this. It's gonna be about that, right? Because shit levels is just like random garbage that you come across, and I like my levels to feel like as close to a real Mario level as you can. Do you know what I mean? I want people to play my levels and go, that could have been an actual Mario level. That could have been in the game. So newer level is claws, so it's these things that pick you up basically. So I got a big theme of claws. So I made that one really quickly, but Jamie hasn't tested that one. And then he gave me some parameters for a new. I said, I'm gonna make a new level. Give me some parameters, some boundaries. And he says, I want an underwater level, and I want boos. Boos are the little ghosts that move when you.
I was gonna say, here's a big bottle of
Yeah.
wine.
Yeah.
Boos, BOOS.
Yes.
So boos are basically the ghosts that follow you when you're not looking at them. So I want underwater, I want boos. So that was the theme. So I'm working on that one now. And at underwater level, I've never made an underwater level, so I love like making a level that I've never done this one before. So I've never made a level with the 3D world like maker. And I've never made a level where you can just, because there's a car in Mario in the 3D world version, like a little fast car that you can drive. I was like, I've never made a level with the car in it. I've never made a level where Bowser chases you. I've never made a level where, so there's loads of ideas. So, but now I'm working on this underwater Boo level, and I'm very uninspired. I'm making it. I'm like, I don't like it. So I've got to work out how to do it. Love fixing those problems. And then I played some of the story mode in Mario Maker. I finished the story mode in Mario Maker, and it's great. It always depresses me playing the story mode in Mario Maker.
Why?
Because I look at the levels that they make and I go, oh my god, these are so much better than anything I could make.
Yeah, but that's why they're the professionals.
I know. It just depresses me. I'm like, oh my god, they're so clever. These people are so clever.
Ideally, that sort of thing would inspire and deflate you. Like when I worked in bookstores, seeing the stuff that came across, I was like, this stuff is amazing. And then I'd see other stuff and I'd be like, this stuff sucks. I can do better than that. But I would sort of aspire, their high quality work would make me want to step my game up to be as good as that.
Yeah.
So
there's just one level and I was like, oh my god, this is so clever. And I really want to make a level where you can make these levels basically where it's optional which way you go, and then you sort of meet in the middle and then you've got a way out. And there's about 4 or 5 of them in the story mode, and they're so bloody clever. And I mean, a lot of it is this on the screen now, like for if you're watching the video version, like it's this guy and he's just putting stuff in, and then you try it and you're like, that doesn't work, that doesn't work, and eventually you sort of get it to like, okay, this is good. Or sometimes you make something and you go, this is way too fucking hard, this is like ridiculously hard. So it's a lot of just like trying to work it out where the balance is. And then often I'd make like parts of my course like really hard. Oh, that was another thing that Jamie said, is like, if you fall down this bit, you go to an alternative route, and he said it's just really boring. You just fall all the way down for ages. Like, it's nothing. So I made it like one of the best parts of my whole level. You know what I mean? So it's just interesting to like, and he says, oh, you only use the on and off switches once in the whole level. I'm like, oh yeah, like I never bring them back. So I was like, oh okay, so for that section of the game where you just fall down, I'm going to use the on and off switches again. So it's just good to have someone who knows what they're talking about to review your level, which is kind of like a privilege.
Yeah. So what you're basically saying is the level you thought was great was a bit of shit.
No, most of it, I'd say about 60-70% of it was like good. Like I didn't change about 70% of it, but then you've just got that 30% where I got lazy. Do you know what I mean? Where I got a bit like, yeah, I'm not going to do anything with this. Like, I'm just going to fall through. And Jamie really picked on it and went, oh, there's nothing there. You just fall through. Like, I'm just trying to get Mario from A to B. And he's like, but you should put something there. Like, in the real game, there would be something there. So, yeah. And I made one section a bit easier, so you get Yoshi and it makes it easier and stuff. So, yes. And I figured out, because you get Yoshi, and if you get Yoshi, something should be easier. Do you know what I mean? Like, Yoshi should make your life easier. And I figured out a way to like make the level easier with Yoshi, and it took me ages. And I was like, okay. So it's just, I don't know, it's just interesting just to figure these things out. Dave Johnson in the chat says, do you ever watch your previous videos and see how much you've aged? No, I'll get depressed.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't think I look that much different.
You look different in the old EGX videos, like in the
thinner. Thinner.
Well, no, but like I think the first time, like I think you're about the same weight, like when I first met you and stuff, and yeah, because you lost a lot of weight in like, I don't know, 14, 15, something like 2014, 15. And,
yeah, maybe a little bit early, 2013, maybe.
Yeah, and then, but when I first met you, I think you were way bigger than you are now.
I have been bigger. I've
been
been,
bigger,
I've been
you've
a lot
been-
well.
you've
I've been a
been
lot
bigger.
bigger than I am now.
You've
But
been
but your
bigger,
body
you've
is
been-
a river.
But I've been
you can't
thinner
step in
than
the
I am
same
now,
river
too.
twice. The human body just gets bigger and smaller all the time. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So anyway, Mario Maker, love
All right,
it.
so Mario
love it,
Maker,
love it.
yes.
Yeah.
You sounded like Precious off the Bake Off Professionals. Then.
I don't know. I don't watch that. No one watches
Love
TV
it,
anymore.
love it, love it.
No one
That's
watches
what she
TV
says.
anymore. It's a myth. Right.
Yeah,
okay.
well, it's TV,
dead-
YouTube,
it's a
man.
dead
That's where it
medium.
starts. Fuck TV.
Yeah, TikTok. I mean, YouTube's kind of slow.
Yeah, TikTok.
Watch YouTube at 2 times the speed. All right, Stu, you're back.
Yeah, am I back? I don't know. Yeah,
You're up.
other than the play my game bitch game this week, I played the biggest selling game on Steam because I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna go in with the hype and see what the fuck it's all about. And
Yeah.
that would be Dave the Diver. I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
I've seen. a
let's
lot
get
of
on the
hype
Dave
about
the
this.
Diver
I've
train.
heard about this. Yeah.
Okay, and
It's pretty good. I like the
Yeah.
gameplay loop.
it looks. I put it on my wish list. It looks fun.
So
It is
explain
fun.
the game. Explain the game. So it's a 2D
So,
pixel game.
It's a
right?
2D pixel game. It's split into two halves. So first half is during the day, and you go dive in, and you've got to catch as many fish as you can in the time you like, or the oxygen you've got. But it's pretty forgiving. You know, it puts extra oxygen tanks so that you can keep topping up as you're hunting. If you get attacked, some fish attack you. If you get attacked by a fish, that knocks off some of the oxygen you've got. So it kind of like
Okay.
depletes your oxygen when you get attacked. But it has a get out of jail free card. There's a like thing, and you can do 2 dives. So you do 2 dives, but all the time you're there's people coming up asking you to do other stuff. So this woman's like, "Oh, I need you to. I'm from the local sea center or whatever. Can you get me 3 of these and 2 of these or whatever?"
Yeah.
So there's these like side quests that you're given as well as catching fish. And then when you've caught all your fish, you then have a sushi bar on the beach, and then the fish you've caught gets sold in the sushi bar, and you've got to serve all the customers.
So it's like cooking and fishing.
It's like cooking. Well, there's no cooking because it's sushi. So sushi's mainly
Yeah, but
raw,
it's an
raw stuff.
idiomatic way of saying preparing food.
Yeah. And what I quite like about it, the main character in the game looks like me when I was fat. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, it does a bit.
It does a bit.
You know
so-
what? Because he doesn't have a beard, he has a goatee.
Yeah, he has a goatee. Yeah, so I was like, it's pretty good. I like it. And it's funny. You know, it's funny. You have a phone and people like text you and go, "Oh, can you do this for me?" and all this stuff.
So Stu, I'm gonna bring up an image of you
Oh,
From-
right, here we go.
from 2010.
Young
Hey.
Stew. Young
Sorry, audio
Stew.
listeners.
From 2010.
A special reward for those of you
For
joining us
audio,
live.
yeah. I mean, just look at the time code and then go to the YouTube video and find it. But there's
And
there's
to answering
Stu.
your question, Dave, no, Mike is not retiring.
there's Stu.
Hey,
he's
he's looking sexy.
See, I don't look
It's
much
the open
different.
coat that looks
I
sexy.
actually don't look much
that's
different.
13 years ago, and you,
Yeah.
you haven't aged that much, Stu.
I don't actually look that different.
You haven't aged that much.
No, that was when I was, what, 38? 38, I guess.
So you're 1 year older than me there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I don't
know.
look that much different.
Oh, you look different to me.
No, but I'm saying
you
to
look-
me
you
now,
look pretty good now.
I look pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good now.
I age well. See, I look 38. Obviously.
I won't go that far.
Yeah.
Who says I'm retiring?
But I was
Yeah,
pretty
there's a
fat. I was
question on
fatter
Dave
then than
Johnson.
I am now. I can tell that I was a pretty big guy then.
He's might
the
retiring
YouTube
when he's a
chat.
dad. No.
No.
It's the beard.
No, I actually did have a goatee then.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. So what was you
Anyway.
talking about? Stuff.
Oh, Dave the Diver.
Dave the Diver.
So
Dave
Dave
the
the Diver.
Diver.
So when like the fishing
It's not
bit's fun,
cooking.
you get harpoon guns, you get like proper
Yes.
guns to
Sure.
shoot fish with.
Oh, it's actually like quite
Uh-huh.
good graphics when you start diving.
It's pretty cool. I've got to say, it is pretty
They put
cool
work in.
once
The
you
gra-
once you
pixel
dive in.
graphics are hard
Uh,
to judge
Yeah.
on their face because sometimes they're shit and sometimes they're refined and
Yeah,
polished.
it's very nice.
This seems
It's
like
a
it's
nice
pretty
looking
refined.
game.
Yeah.
And what's cool, so it's kind of like you need to upgrade your tank, you need to upgrade your weapons. So it's all kind of a grindy thing. And obviously, the more you can upgrade, the deeper you can go, and the deeper you can go, the better standard of fish you can get, and the better standard of fish you get. Obviously, you can sell more shit in your
Could
restaurant,
you,
make
could
more
you get
money.
like a submersive tank and visit the Titanic?
You get like while you're
Too
swimming
soon.
around,
No,
there's
it's
like
never too
treasure. There's treasure boxes, so you get like like the scuba things that you can use to propel yourself around.
Do you meet James Cameron on your dives?
No, I haven't. I've not met the Titanic either. I haven't gone that
Oh,
deep.
right, okay,
Just
okay.
saying. But it's good. It's very addictive. It's a really addictive game. It's
Oh,
got a
okay.
good loop that keeps you coming back.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the like power up, like the sort of powering up stuff and all that kind of stuff comes pretty quick. It's not like too slow. It gives you stuff like fairly early on. And you get stuff from people who give you tasks. So they'll say, "Oh, I need you to get this, but it's a bit deeper than you've got at the moment. So I'll expand your air tank for you so you can get to the depth you need to get it for me."
Sure.
So people give you sort of upgrades and stuff.
A little
who-
boost
who
here, a
you're
little
doing
boost there, a
tasks
little
for.
boost
I've
there.
got a
It's
question,
constant
Stu.
feedback
Got a
loop.
question.
Yes.
Is it voiced or is it just I'm reading?
No, it's all written. So everything's written.
I get the sense this is not a huge developer, so I think
No, it's all like, but it's just so polished. They've done a really good job. Even the little mini game of serving in the restaurant's kind of cool.
It's like Diner Dash. I don't know if you know. Diner
Yeah,
Dash.
it is. And it's like you've got to fill people's green
I've
tea
heard
up,
about
and you
this game. Yeah, I've heard about it. I've heard
gotta,
vibes.
like-
Vibes.
and then as you get further into game, you can find other ingredients so you can make your sushi more expensive.
Okay.
And obviously, when you first get the sushi bar, it's all like run down and knackered. But it takes like 2 days to fully do it up, so it's not even that takes a long time. You know what I mean? That doesn't take a long time to do. And then it's like, oh, you
Right.
can choose all these different bars now, and you can have all these different aesthetics in your sushi bar. And then the end goal of the game, which I'm assuming is the end goal, there's a woman turns up right near the beginning of the game and goes, "Oh yeah," and she's got beef with the chef. So she's
Uh-oh.
like some food critic.
So you
and
got
she's-
sushi that's got beef in it?
Yeah, beef sushi. Her dye, fuck off, Dave. I'm sorry, I've just in the chat. There is no dye on this hair, can I say? This is au
You touched a
naturel.
nerve.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
But it's
Which
hard
makes-
to see because, as always, during the course of the show, Stu is just sinking down.
Stu's going
down,
lower and lower.
down,
I know. I
down.
keep doing that.
You know what he's
I'll
doing?
sit up.
He's rubbing his hair dye on.
He's
I
hiding.
am.
Yeah.
I am. No, this is au naturel, can I just say?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Let's see
They're
the
naked.
downstairs.
yeah. Look, there's a little bit of grey in my beard, tiny bit.
Is that where
at the
you
front.
forgot to put it on?
Yeah, it's where I forgot to put it on.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, David. So woman
Maybe
turns
Dave
up,
the Diver is Dave Johnson in the chat.
Maybe it is.
Yeah.
So food critic turns up and she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember you from such and such place. You were shit, right? So I was a bit
Yeah.
of beef with the chef, and he's like, "Oh, you
Okay.
can piss off." I'm telling you, they were the best ingredients. And he's came up with this weird like shark with something recipe that she said would never work, right? So then he's like, "Hey, Dave, I need you to go and get me a shark. That should be fine with your
Oh
skill
my
set."
goodness.
And
Yeah.
obviously, you're never going to catch a shark at this point in the game. So I'm thinking that's kind of what the objective of the game is to get a shark.
That's the end game.
Is the end game, yeah. So
Sure.
he can tell this critic to do one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think you should go for the shark as soon as possible.
I think you should just go for
Yeah,
the
just
shark.
go for it.
Why not?
Got
Yeah.
it. But it's fun. It's kind of fun. I like it. And it's, again, and I know I'm like a stuck record, but it's great on the Steam Deck. This is a perfect
play
game
it.
for the Steam Deck.
Just play it, Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah, just play it. It's worth
play
every
it.
penny. And it was like, I
Sure.
think it was about 12 quid, 13 quid. So it was like,
Bloody hell.
it wasn't
Oh
crazy
my
expensive.
God.
And it'll probably, I'm saying it'll probably run on a potato, but it probably won't. It probably won't run on a potato.
Well, it doesn't require a lot of graphics.
You wouldn't have
capacity,
thought
but the
so, but
process-
some of these
the
games
processing
actually
power.
require more than you think. You think they
Well, the
like run on
processing is
anything,
what's
but
needed.
yeah,
Yeah.
don't know.
Right.
Yeah. So it's good.
All
Dave
right.
the Diver, play it. Just
Great.
play it.
Just play it.
Okay. Yes. The Epic Game Store gave away Train Valley 2. And I had a little bit of fun with Train Valley 1. I felt like it got needlessly complex, needlessly quickly. So I was like, all right, well, let's see if they improved it on Train Valley 2. It's not going to cost me anything. So let's give it a shot, see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Train Valley 2 is like a puzzle game, and it is the type of game where you have different stations that have different items in it. One station is in the town where you had the people. One station is where you had the raw materials, and one station is where you had the processing plant. This is the first level that you have.
Oh my god!
So
I was expecting this to be like Train Simulator. It is definitely not that.
it is not. It's more of a puzzle game.
Yeah.
I should have said that about the first one. My bad.
You said it was a
Anyway.
puzzle at the start of when you was talking about it.
Oh,
You
wait, I
did, but
yeah.
that, even so, I was still expecting. I don't know.
It's got trains in it, Duke. That really confused me.
When you talked about
Yeah.
Mario Maker, I thought it was going to look like Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
did.
So,
What's
Train
going
Valley
on?
2,
Train Valley.
puzzle game. All right, everybody all ready now?
Yeah,
Okay,
Train
here
Yeah,
we go.
puzzle
Puzzles.
game. Get
Yeah.
it, puzzles.
So, you have to. It's about efficiency. It's about getting 5 stars. Do you you do all the tasks? Do you avoid spending too much money? And then it's like the final 3 stars are like time. Do you do it on time? Like, not the time in the game, but like the total amount of time it takes you to do it. And I don't know about you, but I just hate having that kind of pressure. Even though it's just about stars and who cares about stars, I don't want the game chastising me for how long it takes me to solve a puzzle.
Yep, I agree.
I just don't. My life is stressful enough. I don't
Is
need
it not
that
like
shit.
a relaxed version?
I mean, you can just say to hell with the star. It's on you to like
Oh,
not
okay.
care about how many stars you
Yeah,
get.
yeah, yeah, but you want
So, you
those
know, if you want to be a
stars.
jerk, like whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
The point is, you're laying tracks, and then the tutorial's like popping up windows while you're laying the tracks, and so you have to start over laying the tracks, and it's just like, what are you doing to me? Let me play the game, and then you can have tutorials on the side or something. I don't know. Stellaris has a really good tutorial in that sense. Yeah, and you know, the first level is decent enough because it's basically just a circle. You send the people over here, you send the raw materials there, and the process stuff gets sent back to town. So you're just sending stuff around on the circle, and it's fine. And then you go to the next level, and it's like there's all sorts of stuff in the way, so you can only build the track in certain areas. So they're limiting your ability to, you know, make stuff. And then, you know, it's going very slowly to move stuff back and forth with just the one train. So I was like, all right, I'll put another train on there. I'm assuming they have ways for the train, you know, the trains will pass each other. No, they won't pass each other. The trains are dead. Spend $10,000 to get them replaced. Well, I only have
no.
$2,000. Failed the level. What? Fuck this shit. I'm done with this game.
What?
Wow.
Yep.
Stephen in the
where
chat says
is
he
it?
needs them stars.
Yeah.
I just want to say, this game. I'm done.
Well, he can have them because I ain't playing this shit. It sounds like the
crap.
impact of Brexit. This game. Okay, I don't, all right, whatever. The point is, it's probably still an Epic Game Store. It's
That's
free.
quite a funny joke.
I'm glad to not have given them money. I mean, it looks good. I'm sure some people will enjoy it. It's got positive reviews on Steam, but it ain't for me, baby.
Just to let know, when Dave makes jokes, we don't do jokes on the show. Sorry, Dave.
Yeah, we don't
This
do
is a
jokes.
non-humor
We don't do
podcast,
any jokes.
okay?
Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
we're
Listen
very
to my
serious.
brother, and me if you want jokes, okay?
We just don't do jokes.
This story sucks.
Games.
Right.
Shall we
Yeah.
play the game of Play My Game?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
shall we
do
do
the
that?
game
Play
thing
my
with
game,
the
bitch.
Games. This is the
This
part of the show where we all talk about the game that we played this week.
Yeah, we pick a game, and then that is
Play it.
called Play My Game. Yeah, it's got the Breaking Bad connection. See, let's play this for the kid. He'll be dancing around
And
inside
then
the
we
womb.
even ask other people to play, but they never do. So fuck.
Yeah, they never do. They used to.
Punks.
They used to, and then they
Some
just
people
stopped.
have in the past. Maybe they will again in the future. We
What's
hope
the game?
because we love hearing from you.
This
This game I
Pixel
picked-
3.
McPixel
Yeah, it's
3.
recently new on Xbox Game Pass. It's called McPixel 3. It
Yes.
is how to describe this game?
It's like WarioWare.
I don't know what that is, but
This.
it is sort of point and click humor. The humor is the key element in this game.
Poop.
And
Poop, yeah, poop.
Right. So in the first game, the first sort of level,
2 minutes.
you have a guy who eats a lit bomb
Yes.
and then he poops it out, and it says poop on the screen. And
Yeah,
when
it
that
does.
happened, I wrote, "That's Stu's game of the year."
Yeah,
It
really.
is.
So it's
Yeah.
so to explain, look, WarioWare is a game where you play very, very quick, small mini games. That's WarioWare, right?
Right.
Quick. Some of them are
Are they
funny.
fun mini games?
Yeah. Some of them funny, like those
Okay,
like one.
because
where
that would be the big difference I'm setting up
Yeah.
for this game.
So like, you know, I don't know. I remember one in WarioWare is like there's a statue weeing, and you have to move the statue so it wees and fills something. And they're quick. They're quicker the ones on this one. They're like bam, bam, bam,
Yeah,
move on,
right.
right. And sometimes you never see
Drag
them again.
this, push that.
Yeah, and there's some different structures to different WarioWare games. Basically, that is this. So McPixel is it's a pixel side-scrolly type game where you get constantly put in different scenarios. So you get presented with like 5 different scenarios. One of them you stuck on a burning plane. The next one you're inside a computer. The next one you're in I don't know, what was
On
some
a
of the others?
train.
You're
One's
on a train.
isn't it?
You're on
The
a
next
train, right.
one a car goes to run
A burning forest.
a burning forest, whatever. And then
Yeah.
the plane one, for example, the way you solved it was you throw a guy, you beat a guy to death, I assume. You throw him out the plane, and then you throw somebody else jumps out the plane, and then you while in midair, you beat the dead guy, and you beat the guy with the parachute with the dead guy in midair, and then you get the parachute, and then that's how you survive.
And the whole way this works is you're clicking stuff basically at random because this game is just so random.
well, you get rewarded for like you
Random, Jenna. Those kids are saying random.
you get rewarded for like finding all the stupid. Basically,
Right.
they call them gags. So like every.
But you never know what's gonna happen
No.
when you click a thing. So there's a lady when you're getting on the train. If you click on her, which you think you would to show her your ticket that you just bought, you beat her up,
yeah,
and it's like, oh, you didn't expect that.
yeah.
Now you're dead.
yeah. So there's one here where you're in a train and like this woman's got a fishbowl in her lap, and if you pick it up, you put it on your head, and that's one of the things. And you get rewarded for doing.
And then the
like,
train goes off the cliff and you die.
If you find sort of every gag in the scenario, you get like 100% reward. So.
Right. They should not have called it McPixel. They should have called it click random shit until you see all the
Until
things
you
we want
solve
you
the
to see.
level.
Because we're so wacky.
Yeah, so
I hated it.
You're in a burning house here, and there's a water cooler and an old man running around. You can kick the old man to death, or you can drink as loads of water and then piss all on
And
all
then
the
pee
fire.
out. the
Yeah,
fire.
pee on
and
the
you piss,
fire
You
to
piss
put it
so
out.
much that like it projects you back and all that
Right.
sort of stuff.
But you're not trying to like save people or like
You're trying to get out.
actually solve puzzles. You're trying to see all the things.
Yeah,
So this is an ego exercise in the people who made it. Like, check out all this wacky stuff we
yeah.
did.
We come up with a bunch of jokes. Like here we go.
Right.
What I do, I don't like this game. Let's just put that one out there.
No, I don't like it
I don't
either.
like
3
it.
thumbs down, people.
3 thumbs down for this game. What I did, because I think it's like the jokes don't hit that well for me. But the one joke I sort of kind of like is that there is no, basically you want to get out alive, and there is no, you don't care if you kill a bunch of other people. Do you know what I mean? You have no like sympathy for anyone. So there's one scenario where you've got to drag a bomb to a roof and a helicopter takes it off, and then it kills the helicopter, but
I
you
didn't
get
get that
out
far.
because the building doesn't explode. And I like the fact that he has no remorse for anybody else but himself. I think that's
Yeah.
probably quite a fun joke. And now and again, some of the scenarios you find a random guy called Steve, and Steve does like weird stuff. I don't know what he does.
Well, there's a with the one with the aeroplane and the parachute. There's Steve's fishing, isn't he? So you
yeah,
come
he's
across
fishing.
Steve
Yeah,
fishing.
but then you can fish with a foot or you know,
Yeah.
I just don't think it's that funny.
No, I didn't, and I thought it got a bit tedious.
It's
to
very
be honest.
tedious, and it's very like, I don't know if I can. Like the one where you stuck in the computer and the PC, I found it like really fucking annoying, to be honest. And I find it annoying, you know, with this one with the plane one. It took me ages to figure out how to,
Yes.
how to,
Yeah,
how to do
and
it.
even
you
the
have to
fire
choose-
one.
Here's
The
the
fire
thing.
in the
It's
forest
like,
took me ages.
Yeah.
Even Zork had like an order of operations, a process you could kind of figure out.
Yeah.
This game is literally like click stuff,
Yeah.
and then like, but each thing you click, like, okay, you click the pilot in front of the controls. You beat him up into the controls, and the plane goes down, and you die. Okay, so you say to yourself, okay, that wasn't it. All right, let me click the guy next to him, and each of those steps, you keep doing them until you get further. But at a certain point, I clicked on the parachute. I'm like, oh, I see. You put the parachute on you. No, that just throws it out the plane. And if you do it in the wrong order, so it's just this endless process of just clicking stuff and hoping that
Yeah.
you manage to get it in the right order. And it's not fun as a game. If I was watching
Yeah.
this, I might be amused, but no.
Can I just say as well, that is the only game mechanic. There isn't anything else.
Right.
It's just
Well, that's
click
not
on
true.
some-
At this space one, at one point you just shoot
control
the
a
asteroids.
spaceship,
Yeah, there is
It's
that.
very
Another
rare.
one.
Most of the game is just clicking
There's
random
another
shit.
one where you have somebody who looks like the Stig, and you're at like a Formula One track. You kick him, he drops the keys, you pick up the keys, and you can drive the car. And it
You
turns into-
played way more of this game than I did.
Yeah, I played for about an hour. So
Yeah, Chinny played it much more than me.
Yeah,
too, so.
but by the way, you do that race. So you basically play like a race simulator. So, well, not a simulator, but like an old school racing game. You complete the level and you still die. Right. So it was a pointless exercise.
Yeah,
And
right.
the
Kinda like
actual
the whole game.
the actual solution to that is you kick the Stig, you pick up the keys and you give him the keys and he gets in the car and he kills himself. Like that's like it just makes no sense. None of it makes any sense.
No, I mean,
But it's so wacky and random.
yeah, I think the reason I stopped playing was because I'd completed all the levels, but not 100%, and then I couldn't unlock the next set of
They're gonna
levels
make you
until I'd
do it, right.
100%ed everything. I was like, I am not bothering with that,
Hmm.
and that
Yep.
was it. I was like, fuck it. I ain't
Yeah,
messing
so
around
it's,
trying to figure all that shit out because I cannot be bothered.
I mean, I quickly sort of go like, I get the joke, and I'm not laughing. You know what I mean? Like that was it for me. It's a 3 thumbs down, which is rare, very rare on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, didn't like it.
Very rare. I did have a game for next week.
Oh, go on
Okay,
then.
Let's hear it.
Sorry, I just need to remind myself what it was because I downloaded it. So let me just look on Game Pass, and then I will. I'll get back to you. Let me just switch on my
All right.
Xbox, and I'll get.
Stay
back to you.
tuned, people. It's happening.
Stay
So-
tuned. It's going to happen.
There you go. Somebody else.
Watch
talk.
this space.
Somebody else talk.
Well, that's all my games, so I'm done. So back to you, dude.
Yeah, I think I'm all done too.
Oh God, it's on me.
So back to you,
I
Chinny.
can talk about Skyrim some more.
Uh,
See,
Yeah,
the
talk about
hairstyles.
Skyrim.
hold on.
Rocket League is.
Right, what did I download? What did I download? Oh, I downloaded.
Anyway.
Hold on, I downloaded a game, right, and it's coming off Game Pass.
Right.
And
Which one is that?
I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
But I looked at it and I was like, okay, is it Flower with UFOs or something? That's all I know about it, right?
Okay.
It's called.
Sounding good. I'm liking it.
It could be shit though, right? I have no idea.
Could be good though. Could be good.
It's called XO1.
Okay.
So it's
Okay.
EXO1.
Okay.
And you might have to download it quick
enough.
because it's coming off Game Pass.
Okay.
Okay.
So you might need to play this in the next couple of
EXO1.
days.
Right. Okay.
If
Well,
it
I don't need
doesn't,
to play it at all because I'm not be here next week.
oh yeah, true. So me and Stu, you got to
Yeah.
play it soon. You
Yeah.
gotta
And
play it,
John
like-
Mouse. John Mouse has to play.
John
it.
Mouse, yeah, he was in the chat earlier, so he's got to bloody play it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Bloody
we'll
John
beat
Mouse.
him up.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, so XO1. I just looked at it. I was like, I've never heard of this game because it was leaving. It was on the leaving soon list. I was like, I've never played that.
So is it an X and an O and then one? Or is it?
EXO?
Oh, it is EXL1.
EX. Or is it? It might be X1, but the moon looks like it's the O. So I think it's XO1.
Okay. I'll find it.
EXO1.
I'll
Yeah,
find it.
You'll find it. It kind of looks like a frisbee. Like the picture looks like a little frisbee flying. So I think it's a UFO. I think.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see. Well, it's just completely random. I thought we'll give it a go.
Give it a go.
Can't be any worse than this McPixel, can it? Jesus.
No, that was.
Things can
not
always
a
be
good
worse,
game.
but it seems very unlikely.
Exactly. Right. So I have played another game. Obviously, I've been playing
Oh.
more of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Oh, you're finally in. You're finally in it.
Take
this.
Oh no.
Now I've decided that I'm not going to play this all out because it's such a beast of a game. Do you know what I mean? It's just massive.
It
So
is a big game.
I need to play this with other games. I need to play this with other games sprinkled around it because I'll just be talking about Breath of the Wild for like 20 weeks or whatever, you know.
And who wants that?
Who wants that? No one. But no one listens to the show.
What kind of
anyway.
hairstyles can you have in Breath of the Wild?
You can have a few actually, but anyway, Breath of the Wild. Just to give people an idea where I am, I've met the squid people. They're called Zora. They're like, oh, you're a Hyrulean, whatever. We've got a princess and she's like dead or statue or something. I don't know. And we need shock arrows. So go to the thing and get shock arrows. So this is where I fucked up last time I played the game, right? I don't know if you remember this, Stu, in this game. Basically, you have to go to this like.
Oh, I remember, and you didn't Did you not understand properly what she meant
they
to do?
literally say it in the section that I played. They go,
I vaguely
"You don't
remember
need
it.
to kill this fucking thing. He just loves shooting shock arrows.
Yeah,
collect 20 of them
It's like
and fuck off, right?
a
And
centaur, isn't it?
it's like a centaur, yeah. And it goes, all you need to do is collect 20 arrows,
Yeah.
and then you can take on the elephant thing, right?
That's right.
And I went up there, and I was like, "Fuck me, this guy's hard." Like,
That guy, I don't think
what?
I ever killed him. I don't think even
Well,
once I'd finished the
what
game, I
happened
don't think I
is,
ever killed him.
I
He's
was like,
so hard.
I'm obviously not strong enough to play this. I need to play more of the game, get more shrines, get more hearts, and then I can kill him. So that's what I did. I did that for like
I remember.
15, 20 hours. And I was like,
Yeah.
bloody hell, this is a good bit of a fucking grind at the start of the game. Came back, killed him, and then worked out I didn't need to. And I was like,
No, you didn't. You
"Fucking
just have to collect. You have to
Jesus."
get him to shoot at you, and then you just collect the arrows.
What's
up.
funny is the section that I'm on now is where they're telling you about it, and they literally fucking say like,
Oh, yeah, they tell
don't
you to do
have
it."
to kill him, and I must have been
Just not paying attention.
Yeah, but
You
a
just
lot of
didn't
it's
pay
reading though.
attention.
It's a lot of Zelda's reading. so
Yeah,
I
you
was-
just click, 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 click.
you know, and I was probably I remember like I started this game like while we were traveling to Scotland and stuff like that. So I might have not been in like the greatest frame of mind when I was playing it and stuff. But
Yeah, not paying attention.
not paying
That's
attention. But
bad
yeah, it's
thing.
kind of swapped around because last week I was obsessed with Zelda, but this week I've been obsessed with Mario Maker. But you know, I managed to play a little bit. But as I said,
But they're both Nintendo games. What are you gonna do?
I'm just it's Mario and Zelda. Like 30 years later, I'm still playing the same shit.
Yeah, yeah.
There you
Still
go.
playing the same shit.
Playing the same
There you
shit.
go.
And
It's like
30
when
years
you.
from now,
It's like when you saved
Someday.
up for that very first
and
console. of
30
yours.
years
Rocket
from
League,
now,
Skyrim,
Duke will still be talking about fucking Skyrim. I'll tell you.
and Rocket League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you go. Breath of the Wild still rocking it. Still rocking it.
Yeah, it's a decent game. It is very good. Is that it for games? Is that
That's
it?
it
You
for games.
done?
That's it for games, mate.
So
Yeah.
we should do. We have got some news this week, so let's do some news.
Oh yeah, finally some news, people. It's real
Some
news happening.
news.
News time.
Putting news first.
So by the way, first bit of news isn't. It is news. But I'm taking this direct from Steam. It's direct from Steam.
Okay.
So they have released the top Next Fest
the games that were
games
played
demos
most at
that were
Next Fest,
played.
yeah.
So you may already know this, Duke, but any ideas
Yes.
what was number one played demo?
It was the House Flipper.
House Flipper 2. It beats
Two.
everything.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right.
House Flipper 2 was the most played Next Fest demo. Followed by the Lies of P. So that was, but that's kind of a bit of a cheat because that demo was released before Next Fest and it's still available, so you can still play the demo for that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of it. The next one was Viewfinder. I'm a bit disappointed I didn't play this when it was around. It looks kind of cool.
Okay.
Have you seen this?
Nope.
So it's kind of
Oh, is this the one where the camera and then you switch the perspectives and stuff?
yeah, it's an interesting perspective puzzle game. It looks really, really interesting.
Those games are so hit and miss. Like sometimes they're really cool and sometimes they're really stupid. So I'm like, I should have tried the demo, obviously. But
Yeah,
I don't
I'm a
know.
bit disappointed I
nervous
didn't
about
try this.
innovative games that push the boundaries of reality.
Yeah, it looks cool. It looks a bit like Alice in Wonderland or some weird
Yeah.
surreal stuff going
Could be
on.
good.
Yeah,
be good.
so I'm a bit sad I didn't play this. And the demo, sometimes the demos are still there, but this isn't. So it's not one that you
Nope.
can play after Next Fest. So there you go. But I reckon I'll give this a try if they give if they put a demo out again. I might give it a go.
Yeah.
Give it a go. So there's still people playing it. Apparently, there's a live feed.
Are
of someone
there
playing
others
it.
on this list, or is it just those?
Yeah, Lies of P was
I thought
second.
we
I
were
said
in a
that, didn't I?
huge rush.
What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else we've played. I don't think there is, to be honest.
Well, I saw that the On Guard game was in the top 10, I thought.
Can't see
You
that,
played
but
that?
you might be right.
Oh, maybe not. I don't know.
On Guard was pretty good. I liked On Guard. On Guard.
Okay.
Yeah, On Guard's there. So that's one of those that's up there. And there was another one I saw that we played, which was pretty good. but I
Welcome to the
can't remember
Veteran
what it
Gamers,
was.
where we just sort of
Yeah, that's pretty
roll
good.
our eyes
Oh,
around
yeah,
a list of things, read
Venber.
off a few of them here and there.
Venber was there as well. So that was one of the others that we played.
Yes. Okay. Good.
So there you go. That was
Next
just a
news
little bit
item.
of quick Next Fest
Sure.
stuff. And yeah, let's do some proper news. Here we go. I will get the news.
Oh, that wasn't the
up.
proper news.
I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about like indie games and stuff like this, and they had like an indie game specialist. And I was like, I fucking hate most indie games. Like,
Yeah,
most.
you do. Yeah, you do.
Like the 10% are great. Like I love them, and I know it's mean. That's mean, isn't it? I'm being mean.
You
right?
mean.
But
You mean.
Well, no, you have high standards, and a lot of indie developers don't meet them. That's not mean.
yeah,
That's
I mean,
being
look
honest.
at McPixel for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Well, some
but
not.
they had only one focus to be funny and wacky and random,
Yeah, and
and
they didn't
that's
do it.
not a formula for success.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Well, no, they
achieve
were
it.
random.
Random.
It's
Yeah,
just
the
that
poop-
you
the poop
can't build a
joke did
game
make me
around
laugh
that. You don't build a
briefly,
video
can I just
game
say?
around that. That's not the thing to build a video game
did.
around.
Okay, first one is bit of news is this, which is a little bit
Yes.
entitled. But Todd Howard is the only person authorized to talk publicly about unreleased Starfield details. So nobody else
Oh,
who
for
works at
fuck's
Bethesda
sake.
Studio is allowed to
Get
say
over yourself.
anything.
I love how there's like someone was
Gotta
talking
go
about
past
review
Todd
bombing for Starfield. It's like it hasn't even come out. What is wrong with people?
I know. Yeah, so some guy on Twitter who works there, he's like the chief designer or something. He asked someone on Twitter, asked him a question. He's like, I want to make this clear. I can't speak about it unless Todd says so. You know, this has to go through Todd. Is the gist of it. That's not exactly what he said, can I just say, but that's kind of the gist.
So the news story is people aren't allowed to talk about stuff at a company except for the boss.
Yeah, you're not allowed to talk about Fight Club.
Okay.
That's the first rule.
Right. I hear that Meta employees aren't allowed to talk about all the stuff Meta's planning except for Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, it's probably true. It's probably true.
Probably is.
Probably is.
Hey, Mark Zuckerberg's ripped these days. Have you seen he's ripped?
He's ripped.
He's
It's
trying
because
like
he's
a
getting ready
UFC.
for that fight. He's getting ready for that fight with Elon Musk.
No, like
That's what
Elon
it is.
Musk's he backed down. His mum wouldn't let him do it.
His mum wouldn't let him
It's
do
true.
it.
It's true.
It's true.
What a
No,
couple of
Elon, you're
schmucks.
not doing it.
They both
but
suck, the
Mom. Anyway, Major Nelson has left Microsoft.
Yeah, he's been there 20
Yeah, I
years.
saw
hasn't he?
that.
22 years.
Mm.
20.
Dude.
Can you believe when we started doing our podcast, he'd only been there 7 years.
Yeah.
Only been there 7 years. But he was kind of one of the first podcasts I listened to.
Yeah, he was a big sort of like pioneer of podcasts, I think.
Yeah, he
for the
was.
gaming industry. There was him and like One Up and things like that. And
Yeah, one up yours.
yeah, like those two podcasts were like the dominant ones. And I think I remember listening to like the Major Nelson podcast when he did it on his own. He did it on his own for a while.
Yeah,
and
he used to just talk, didn't he,
and
on
then
his
he did
own?
it with another chap called like E, wasn't it, or something? And
Yeah, I never liked E.
I stopped listening to it years ago because the only problem with like the Microsoft podcast was like they could never talk about games in a negative way, you know. So like as soon as I started to
That
spot
felt
it,
forced.
yeah, as soon as I started to spot it and going like they never slag off a game, it really
Yeah,
bothered me.
Sure.
And I suppose
Well,
like,
it makes you wonder what other rules their conversation is bound.
exactly like, and they're always like favouring like, oh, we played hours of like this, and you're like, I remember
Halo
when
is the best game ever made.
I remember when
am I
like
right?
Shadowrun came out like years ago, not the recent one, like in 2006.
Yeah,
And
that
he
was shit.
And he was talking about it and bigging it up, and I remember playing it, thinking, "Oh, it's going to be this great thing." And it just made me. He always put. I still listen to him years after that, but he always put this like bad taste in my mouth, and it's something. I mean, we could say this genuinely now, but like it's something that I feel like we try and stick to on this show is like keeping it real.
Yeah, keep it real.
Keeping it
Keep it
real.
real.
Look at Duke. Look, finding the sound effect. I can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, he is. He's like, where's that real?
Oh my god!
There you go.
Look how
perfect.
satisfied he is. He's like, I didn't bow to Chili's whim.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
it real. There we go.
There you go.
There.
The only thing I would say about Major Nelson as well, he did used to talk about stuff other than Microsoft stuff as well. He was, they were quite happy
Well,
to
I
talk
haven't
about
heard
Sony
his show
stuff as
for
well.
a long time, but I remember when Uncharted 2 came out, and like
Yeah.
him and E were bigging it up, and
Yeah.
I think that's not. But they always said good things about whatever they took.
Everything.
They
Yeah, it
never
didn't matter
slagged-
whether it was
They
Sony
never
or Microsoft.
slagged anything off, and I'm
They
like,
didn't.
you know,
They
look,
didn't.
I
Some
remember
things in the world deserve to be slagged off.
I remember
That's
like
just
an
how it
absolute fucking turd of a game come out, and like they danced around it. They was like, well, like
the killer's dream has an
yeah,
interesting
it's
perspective.
That kind of
on
thing. It was
things.
that, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is, and you start to see like, this is bollocks. Like they can't,
Mhm.
they're not unleashed, you know. Whereas we got no one who owns us, so it's just
Yeah, we're unleashed. We can say whatever
until we are
like.
bought up by someone, then we'll come to
Bought
anything.
up by-
Or
can you imagine
Amazon
if that
comes knocking
ever
and says,
happens?
Yeah,
"Stu,
yeah.
hey, no more negative
when-
talk about
Yeah,
Amazon."
we're gonna get
products."
bored up.
When Amazon buys us, we'll do
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
We'll say anything.
When
we want.
Elon
That'll be my
realizes he
last
needs us
day.
to help his Twitter battle.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
That's it. Anyway,
We're gonna be a great asset.
Oh,
to
we're
him.
on Threads now,
Next.
Stu. Is that news?
yeah, no, yeah, that's news. We're on Threads.
When
And
are they
to
gonna
be
have a Threads
fair,
web client? Come on, I don't always
We've
have my
got
phone right
49
at the ready.
followers in a week, which I think is pretty good.
Dude.
Yeah, I've not been on Threads yet, so.
But that's also
Considering you
because
can't-
Instagram just automatically adds everybody
Yeah,
you
it
follow
does.
on Instagram.
But
so
you,
they
but
were
you
just-
can't.
Oh, that's really
you
sad.
can't.
Then that's really bad.
You can't put
Yes.
anything on Twitter though to tell people because they're all banned. You can't talk about Threads on Twitter.
Right.
Yeah. Next news story:
Okay.
Need for Speed Most Wanted getting a remake. Apparently,
Because
Again?
they've run out of ideas.
They've
They
been
are.
out of ideas for a long time.
10
man.
years,
Look
they're
at
like,
fucking
as-
Unbound. Oh wait, that was a good game.
The cleaner came in last year and said, "Why don't you do like cartoon shit? You know, like cartoon graphics."
Yeah, and they did. and That was
Alright.
the best game they've done in years.
yeah, it is.
I wish this bin would get
Didn't you love that?
unbound.
What it's-
Oh, there you go.
Duke
that's-
even loved that, should I say?
Why would you want a bin to be unbound?
I don't know. I try to think of a word where you
Oh, okay.
a moment where you use the word unbound.
Yes.
It was tough.
I have unbound my mop.
Yes, I am
Why would you
unbound
bind
from
a
my
mop?
wife.
Yes. But anyway, but apparently the original voice actor
My
is in it again,
wife!
and he's like,
Don't.
"Oh, remake's coming up in 2024." So there you go. He's like, it's
They've
Oh
remade
boy,
it
look for
twice.
that. It's gonna be great.
yeah, it's
Oh,
gonna be
they've remade it once, but it
amazing.
Rape.
Okay,
Next
so
news.
rumors
Is there any
about
actual news? I'm assuming there's no actual news. There's just more like here's a thing that might happen.
Yeah, well,
Games.
this is another thing that might happen.
Games have got graphics.
Rumors abound. Ubisoft employee says Japanese Assassin's Creed game for 2024.
Ugh, every fucking year there's a fucking Japanese Assassin's Creed game coming out. I'm sick of it.
Japanese,
Sick of
Japan.
it. We had a Japanese
even wanna
Assassin's
see it.
Creed. We had one. Remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was
I don't-
called?
Yeah, I
It
don't
was
know.
called
Is that?
Ghost of
crappy one.
Tsushima. Right, it was done.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We did it.
But apparently it's happening. But I'm almost who cares at this point.
No one cares.
Who cares?
one's playing Assassin's
Well, if it's a
cares.
good game, it'll come out. It'll be fun to play, and we'll play it. The
They're
end.
10
one
years too
cares.
late. They're 10 years too late.
Egypt. We've had it. Egypt. Neil Druckmann is now the sole person at the top of Naughty Dog as his co-president retires after 25 years.
Suspicious.
Well, he deserves that top spot because he's a cool guy.
Yeah,
So
so
you say
Evan,
because
Yeah,
he's
he's
your
my buddy.
Yeah.
yeah,
He is my
Evan
buddy.
Wells is retiring at the end of the year, leaving Neil Druckmann to fully take the reins of one of PlayStation's best-known studios.
wait till
You
he
call
gets-
me inspiring for new listeners.
You wait till he gets cancelled.
Do you know what's kind of
Well, it
funny?
doesn't
What
mean
I
he's
what I
wrong.
like about this, the way
Not
he's
this, about
worded
me
it,
being awesome.
the way he's worded it, although they were co-presidents, so they're both equal
Mm.
levels.
Is this the guy you got pissed off because he wasn't mentioned in the show? Is that guy?
I don't. It
Because
could be,
because
I don't know.
there's he's this other guy who created The Last of Us as well as Neil Druckmann got mad because he wasn't
Yeah,
mentioned.
I
in the
remember
show.
that.
Yeah,
He
might
wasn't
be.
given
Who
creator
knows?
credit.
Who
yeah.
Not
knows?
mentioned in the show. Like, hey, how about the guy who made this show?
But anyway,
That'd be
this
weird
is
if one of
what
the
he
characters-
said.
Wouldn't
He
this
said,
be
I like,
cool if this was a video game?
I like the way it's worded. He said that he's incredibly confident that he's leaving the studio in the best hands. It's almost like he's passing it over, even though they were sort of go, I guess. But I don't know.
It's all boilerplate.
Yeah,
nonsense
this is
that
something
they
I've been
made.
discussing with Naughty Dog studio leadership team for well over a year, and with Neil for even longer than that. He said the decision brings with it an overwhelming and conflicting emotions, but I've come to realize that I'm content with my time at the studio and all that we've accomplished together over the last 25 years. And I couldn't be more confident in Neil's ability to carry on running the studio. It's the right time for me. It's almost like without me, I was doing a good job, but it'll probably be all right.
Yeah. Well, there
probably
probably
be
is
alright.
there probably is an ego thing there, but
Yeah.
I kind of, as I get older, I get why, and I suppose not that I'm making any announcements or anything, but like
It's the
be-
right. This
being
is
in
even
a-
better.
being in a
It's-
business partnership myself and
Yeah,
doing it
yeah.
for a long time. Matt and I, we've talked about what we would do if we didn't do this, or you constantly get people talking about like exit plans and all this sort of stuff, and we don't know. We're just fucking idiots, like just trying to stay alive, So yeah, and you kind of think, well, look, we're not ending the business anytime soon, and all that sort of stuff, or selling it or anything. But
What's
you-
going on here, Chinny? What do
No,
you say?
what I'm saying is, if it ended tomorrow, because I know. I don't know. Like say if Matt wanted to leave, or I wanted to leave, or we got bought up by this like massive company. We got like 10 million. I was like, yeah, nice. Which won't happen, by the way. Like I'd be fine with it, because I'd be like, well, I'll just do something else. Like because you want to move on. But Larry's been at bloody Microsoft for 20 years. He's been at Naughty Dog for 10. You just want to do something else for fucking that long. Like you just time to do something. So I can.
But he finished off. This is the last thing he said. He said, "I couldn't be more confident in Neil's ability, so it's all right. He might be able to do it. To carry on running the studio, it's the right time for me to provide the opportunity for him and the others at the studio leadership team to steer the studio into a successful future." So it's almost like I'm giving him the chance. I'll just give him a chance.
But there is probably ego involved. Do you know what I mean? He probably feels. I mean, I don't know the guy. I'm just talking at my arse, right? But he might think, oh well, Neil's got all the stardom, and he's the guy, isn't he? Neil's the guy that everybody talks about. And to a certain extent, he probably is the guy because he's probably a big drummer to get the show made and all this sort of stuff. Yeah. And the other guy, I don't know what's this guy's name?
Evan Wells, he's called.
No one's ever heard of him.
No, but he was. But I mean, Neil Druckmann tweeted, "Sad to see my boss, mentor, partner, friend leave. But happy for him to enjoy a well-earned retirement. Evan, your unmatched legacy will be forever be a part of Naughty Dog."
Maybe it's true.
But he didn't say anything about this guy inspiring him, though, did he?
Yeah, he said his partner and boss.
No, but he didn't say he was like inspiring, because he only saves that phrasing for the people who are really above and beyond.
Who did he say that to?
Someone that I think.
Yeah, did he say that to someone?
Yeah,
I read somewhere that Neil just writes anything to keep people happy.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He was scared. He was like, "This guy's gonna come stalking me."
Apparently, I've heard Neil is an expert at blowing smoke up people's asses.
Yeah, he listened to the show and he was like, "I better tell something about it."
Yeah.
That's weird that you would think that he would just ignore people on Twitter. That he has some podcast that nobody cares about.
You can't do that.
Yeah. All right. So what's next?
Dave the Diver hits 1 million copies in 10 days.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That's not bad.
Don't
I mean, it's not surprising because Steam had it front and center on there. Like when you log in, I think for 2 days it was like, "Hey, play Dave the Diver."
Do you know what though? I quite like that because the developers
walk into a bookstore and it's like, "Hey, read this." It's gonna sell a lot of books.
Don't feel good for the developers. Fuck them.
Yeah, no, I think they deserve it. Bless them. Anyway, final bit of news is Final Fantasy 16 is being adapted into a Japanese musical.
Oh god!
Oh my god!
And I have heard on the grapevine, apparently it gets good after 16 hours.
I hate that.
It gets good after 16 hours. Come on, it's a good joke.
If a game only gets good after 16 hours, it's a bad game.
No, the musical only gets good after 16
hours.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was a wasted joke on you.
Oh yeah, well, this show's wasted.
We're all wasted, man.
That's it, really. I mean, there's not a lot else to say about that.
Like a dead guy in GTA.
Anybody's guess.
That's
Who knows?
Good.
Fucking crazy Japanese people.
Right. All right. So now we're ready for emails, is it?
No, it's quiz time. It is an email, but it is a quiz, and it's a quiz, which is an email.
It's time for the quiz. It's time for the quiz. We play the shitty sound clip when it's time for the quiz.
It's not actually. It's a quiz in the sense of like, well, what do you think? But there's no. I mean.
Yeah, it's a quiz in a kind of an email, but an email that's a quiz.
But it's not like really we're trying to get a certain number of points or like show.
No, it's just for fun.
Idle silliness. Go ahead. What do we got?
Of course, it's what does it mean, Duke? What does it mean?
Yes, these are phrases, and we try to figure out if we know.
Figure out where it comes from. Where does it originate?
Where these phrases come from? Yes.
What does it mean? So the first one is a baker's dozen. First of all, do you know what a baker's dozen is?
13.
Yes, 13 or something.
So where does it come from though? How do we end up with a baker's dozen?
Because they bake and then they're always left with some leftovers, so they make an extra one.
Okay, I feel like I know this.
Well, you should do because you're a fucking chef.
Yeah, right.
So basically, what it means is when they were making bread, right? Because they were like into Satan worship, like the bread makers, the bakers. They would make an extra one, so they got the number 13, which is obviously associated with bad luck. And then what they would do is...
Why were they into devil worship?
I have no idea. Bakers are into that stuff, apparently. That's what I've heard.
All of them?
That's what yeah. Custard tarts, man, they're just an excuse for, like, doing a pentagram. That's what they are.
Right.
They put them in each corner of one, and
Yeah,
that
you eat some
summons
granola
a
now.
demon, apparently. So yeah, so they make 13 because it's bad luck, and then customers that they don't like, say if someone comes in who's like Ethel, who's always
I totally
causing them
forgot I had
issues,
these
like
chocolate-covered pretzels. Sorry, go on.
really
Ethel.
really fussy, like
Yes, Ethel's
wants
so
stuff a
fussy.
certain
Give
way,
her the
fuss
Satan
pot.
donut.
They give them the 13 donuts or 13 pies or whatever, so that they get bad luck. So that's where this saying.
All right, well, let's see who's correct.
Okay, you ready?
Ready?
The phrase is widely believed to originate from medieval times when English bakers gave an extra loaf when selling a dozen in order to avoid being penalised for selling a short weight. Bakers could be
Really?
fined, pilloried, or flogged for selling underweight bread.
So they were punished for
Flogged?
being
Wow.
underweight, so they'd always put an extra one in. So
Loafing
you know.
just to make sure they were.
That seems a bit harsh to flog someone for selling like
No,
bread
it's
that's a little
not.
too small.
Now, medieval times, they did all sorts of shit like that. I mean, that was just
Well, I know,
normal
but-
day-to-day stuff.
I mean, if you think someone's a witch causing your children to die, that's one thing. But if someone's like, he gave me a little less bread than I thought, whip him.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what happened, man.
It was bad back then.
Tie him up and whipped.
I got it, Frank.
Okay. I mean, this seems fairly obvious, the next one, but maybe it isn't. Seems fairly obvious. Ball and chain. Ball and chain.
I imagine it's when they put a ball on chain. Yeah. Like,
On a prisoner. That's surely
On a
there
prisoner
must
in
be
order
the
to keep them
reason.
from running away. Yes.
Yeah, it's a ball and chain.
And then because it was a thing that kept people from moving around the way they would like to, men bristling at the social restrictions of marriage started referring to the wife as my ball and chain in that beautiful way patriarchy has of washing over everything and
Yes,
fucking up all our
misogyny is
language.
always alive. Okay, here we go. The rather crude description of a wife refers to the ball and chain strapped to a prisoner's leg in American and British prisons in the early 19th century.
Hey, nailed it.
Nailed it. Okay, I reckon I've got a good guess at this, but Duke might beat me to it. So the last one this evening is barking mad.
Go ahead. What do you think?
I think this is obviously, it's surely got to do with rabies, hasn't it?
No, it's from Fallout New Vegas, where No Bark Noonan starts complaining about aliens coming to steal his face. And they were like, wow, he's barking mad. And that's why he's called No Bark Noonan. And so that's where the phrase comes from. Nothing to do with rabies.
Chinny, any ideas?
If rabies even exists.
I think it comes from babies.
Babies?
Yeah.
Babies with rabies.
Babies with rabies.
Who have scabies.
Who have scabies. Let's find out.
And drive a Mercedes.
Yeah, the most probable meaning for this phrase is a reference to rabid dogs barking in their madness. More interesting but less likely tale is that barking mad originates from Fallout New Vegas.
I see what you did there.
No, originates from the East London suburb of Barking, where there was an insane asylum or an asylum for the insane during the medieval period. I like that. I think that's a better. I like that.
Well, they're all mad they're all mad from London anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I'm going to go with that one because I like it better. And that's all, folks. Mark. So thank you, Mark, for another week of What Does It Mean? What does it mean?
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
What does it mean?
Okay, we have got a speak pipe, and then it is time to get out of here,
What
I
does a
guess.
speak pipe mean?
Speak pipe. What does it mean? Speak
Pipe! It's the way to leave a message for us.
So this is the part of the show where we play audio clips that people have sent through the easy-to-use program SpeakPipe. And when I say program, you don't even need to download something on your phone, people. You can just go to our website, veterangamers.co.uk, scroll down to the bottom. Should put it at the top, but whatever. And it'll say, like, there's a little big icon for SpeakPipe. You just touch that, and you just talk. And that's it.
It's easier than that. It's easier than that. You just Google SpeakPipe Veteran Gamers. It just comes up straight away.
That's it. You don't even have to go to our website.
Why not? I don't know how
90 seconds. That's all it is. 90 seconds of your time.
Well, you could send 2 and you have more seconds.
I don't know, 3 minutes.
There's a reason I'm not a math teacher.
Yeah.
All right. So our friend Saint Diesel sent us a SpeakPipe hot off the press. This
Yeah,
is.
not Derek.
Let's hear what he has
not
to
Derek.
say.
It's not Derek.
Hey, Veteran Gamers, it's Saint Diesel back again. I've been watching bits and pieces online about the new Alan Wake video game. I did play the original on the Xbox 360. I've still got that somewhere in the house. But it put me in mind of something that happened about 15 years ago or so where I thought I want to write a book myself.
Yeah.
And I did get it started. I got about 25 pages in,
Awesome.
and I think I just ran out of ideas for the middle and the end of the book.
Fair enough.
I even had 3 titles for it. That's how undecided I was about it. I'll tell you those just to give you an idea what it might have been about. First title was Time Warped. Second title was A Dark and Lonely Place. And the third title, Return to Yesterday. So I've got a couple of questions. The first one specifically for Stu and Chinny, and the second one specifically for Duke.
Okay. Anybody want to say anything about those titles before we move into the questions?
I kind of like Return to Yesterday. I quite like that.
That's a
It's
good
like
title.
Back,
I think that
it's
is
like
a good
Back to the
title.
Future, but not
A little Back to the Future, but it's evocative and it's not cliched. I think Dark and Lonely Place is a fine title, but it feels like it could be about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And what was the first one again?
I don't know.
It was,
Can't remember that. Obviously, the least memorable one, so that was rubbish.
No, but
Dang
the only
it.
thing the only joke that I thought of was like, if you had like 2 like dark titles for the book, like A Dark Twisted Place, Fucked Up and Shit, and then the third idea was Roof the Dog and His Adventures. Like, what is this story?
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea what this is. So anyway, yeah, let's hear the questions now.
I know Duke's written books before,
Yeah,
fiction
yes.
and non-fiction.
Neil Druckmann called them all inspiring.
He doesn't like to talk
But
about
the
it.
first question for Stu and Chinny, have you ever thought about writing a book yourself? Did you ever get one started? And if so, what was it going to be about? And the second question for Duke, maybe a bit more important, I guess is the right word. If you're an adult who knows how to read, let's just say over 21, and you've got no interest in reading books, if you were trying to convince them to start reading books, what arguments would you make to make them see that it's a good thing to read books? And I'll leave it at that. So until next time.
All right. What do you guys
Okay.
think? Ever thought about it?
Absolutely not. I can't think of
Uh-huh.
anything worse than
Really?
writing a book.
Why
No,
do you think
awful.
it's so horrible?
I hate writing in general. So
Okay.
why would I do something where you had to write a lot?
Fair enough.
Definitely not. Not
Yeah.
for me.
Okay. Jenny?
Yeah, Ginny.
No. No, no, not really.
Okay.
I thought maybe like me and Matt could write a book about like the funny, stupid shit we see in business.
Do you know,
So,
for
yeah.
1 second there, I thought he was going to say, like, write a book about how to run a small business, you know, like something serious.
No.
Fuck that
But it's like because when you start a business, this is what I discovered. When you start a business, right, you
Yeah.
kind of you're naive, right? Because if you knew how hard it was going to be, you probably wouldn't start, right? That's just a fact. Like if you knew how.
By the way,
difficult-
same with writing a book in general.
Yeah, if you knew how hard it was going to be, you probably wouldn't do it. The second one is like there are a lot of people that don't know what they're doing. Look, there's fucking loads of them, and they're all called. Sorry, I'll wait
Right,
for Duke.
shit.
I'll wait for Duke to finish.
Is he having a
Trying to
week?
get you to command your
Is that a
attention
week?
like
Is that-
on
is that what
Brooklyn
they were doing
Nine-Nine.
All right, they're
Yeah.
they're all called business consultants or business
Yes.
coaches, right? And
Yes.
and it's not regulated. It's basically mostly, so not all, but mostly it's a fucking scam because some of these business coaches
95%,
are fucking awful, right?
Well, it's like
They couldn't
one
make
of
it in
Millie's-
business, so they decided to coach other people.
yes,
in business.
exactly.
One of Millie's friends from school runs a business helping people on like social media to become influencers.
Yeah, they're fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And she has no qualifications at all.
course.
She just like goes, I can coach you to
Hey, but
become,
nothing
like,
succeeds like the appearance of success. Maybe she's
get
the
you
next
10,000
Elizabeth
more
Warren.
followers or whatever bollocks.
we've had like because when we started out, we did this like scheme where they give you some money and free access to like business coaches and stuff. And the only one that was decent was the one who was actually in quite a high up job in a big company, like a
Yeah,
very
right.
very big
They
company.
have actual things to talk about.
and he only agreed to coach us because he kind of liked us. He was like, "Oh, I like
Oh,
you
there you
guys.
go.
I like, look, I get
Right.
no financial benefit from this. I just like
Cool.
you guys coming in and whatever you
Yeah.
can learn from me or my work. Like,
Well, it's
good."
kind of like when I think about like news outlets. If you're not begging me for money, I don't know if I trust you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
There you go.
yeah, Democracy Now! Is my favorite news outlet, and they're constantly like, "Just give us some money. We need the money, please."
But the you know, some of them are just like, let's write a year plan. And it's like
Right,
basic
right.
like stupid shit
Yeah.
101
Right.
that any fucker.
It's like
can
what
do.
Jordan Peterson is telling young men, like, clean your room. Like, oh, thank God he's available
Yeah,
to give
exactly.
people such strong advice.
But then, like, the other thing has happened as well, where we've had business coaches that have had successful businesses, and they're not good coaches because they're very good, successful
Right.
businessmen.
Yeah,
and
sure.
they're
The
not-
crossover, the Venn diagram of people who are good at business and good
And good
it's
at
not just
coaching, yeah.
business. It's true about teaching. The people who tell other people how
Yeah.
to teach, like the people who have never taught or have not taught in many, many years, they don't know what the fuck they're talking
So
about. And the people who are teaching are busy teaching.
I have a good snooker example of that. It's like one of the
Yeah.
greatest. It's not Ronnie, but one of the greatest snooker players in the world is Stephen Hendry. He's got a YouTube channel at the moment, and he gives these tips and stuff. But Stephen Hendry is a really bad coach, like a really bad.
Well, he's
one.
boring, isn't he? As well,
He's boring. But the other thing is like, for you, Dick, right? To clear up the snooker table, to pot all the balls on the snooker table is very, very difficult, and not many people can do
Yes.
it, right? And he'll just like do this, and then you clear the table. You're like, whoa, hang on, right? And he
Well,
said
it's like software engineers who don't know how to make their work user friendly.
he said in one video, he's like, well, I don't know how you can teach break building. I was like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, you know, oh look, snooker shots are random. I was like, well, they're not. Like they're the
Right.
same.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And he's because he's
there's
so,
a tiny bit of luck, but most of it's skill.
I mean, most of it's skill. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
it
it's
is.
it's just insane. It's just absolutely insane, right?
Sure. Well, and I think it's because a lot of people do a thing in a way that's not analytical necessarily. If they're just doing
natural. It's
and
natural. It comes
it's
natural to them.
right. It comes to them.
Yeah, but
I
then
was listening
don't
to
do a
philosophy
podcast or whatever
recently where
where
they
you're
were
showing
talking
people how to
about
get
how you
better.
practice a thing. Really? You're just going to keep going, huh?
Yeah, I was.
They were talking about how the phrase second nature is not accidental. You do a thing until it becomes second nature. It's like your body is just used to doing it. And at its best, that's what Rocket League is like. That's what
Hey,
snooker
Mo-
is like. Sorry, Stu, you had something you wanted to add?
No, I was just saying that, like, why is someone like Stephen Hendry if he doesn't understand or doesn't
Because
think
he
he
has
can
an
teach
ego
people?
to stroke, Stu. He needs
What's the
Yeah,
point
exactly.
of
People are
telling people you can't
to
teach
share
him
his
how to do it?
perspective.
He needs
There's
I'm
people
doing a
telling him
podcast to
share
teach you,
his
just to tell you I
perspective, and
can't
he's like,
teach you.
But to be fair, like some of his shows,
Just be better like me.
he does some episodes on YouTube where he'll just have a game with the professional, and I probably learn more from that when he's just talking to a
Oh, yeah,
professional
right.
than when he's
Exactly.
actually trying to teach you. Because you know, someone like
Yeah.
Steve Davis will talk, and you're like, oh, that's really interesting that Steve
Yeah, but
Davis.
Steve Davis is actually a funny man, really.
No, yeah, but like Steve Davis is talking about something. So, oh, that's really interesting that Steve Davis thinks that, and like you know, and it's
Right.
look, and like what Ronnie would say about this, and it's like, oh, that's really interesting. Like everybody thinks Ronnie's like a big risk taker, and actually Ronnie's like he's just playing the odds. Do you know what I mean? He's playing. He doesn't
Right.
do this because he knows his odds are not in his favor if he does that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting how people think of the player. So
Right.
you
Most
you
of
gain
the most
stuff
of the
from that.
people, if you're gonna try to help people do a thing that you're good at, the best way to do it is be like, here's how I do it. Here's all the things I'm thinking about. Here's a step-by-step breakdown of the things that I do when I do this thing. And that's really hard for a lot of people to do because most of us aren't ready to like break down our own thinking that way or like examine ourselves much. So it requires a different kind of analytical skill. But that's something anybody can do.
But anyway, I don't know how we got onto the. Oh yeah, because I was going to write a book about business.
You were going to write a book about business.
So Matt and I had this idea of like, why don't we just write a book about like our process and how we have no idea what we're doing, and then I suppose we had a
People
conversation in
keep
the
paying you for it.
we had a conversation in the car where it was like, we must know something. Like,
I've got, by the way,
we must be doing something right.
I've just thought
Sit
the
up, Stu.
perfect title for your book:
Go on.
Success Out of Chaos.
Sounds a bit cliche to me, Stu.
It's true, though. It's totally true.
Success ate my arse. That's what I want.
Success out of my ass. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Success Out of my ass.
Yeah.
Group title.
Yeah.
Well, you know, there's a very good book called Plain Insanity, which is just this flight attendant writing about all the crazy stuff he's seen over the years on planes. It was one of the most entertaining books I've ever read because it's just like, and then there was a time when the dude got drunk and he was puking all over the plane, and it was like, yes, this is exactly what I want.
We've
No
had, like,
reflections on life, no biographical shit about
No.
his childhood.
You know,
just-
we've gone into business. Like, for example, this is something we've gone into businesses, and like you think like they're this big run, right? Like a big names, right? I'm like, you know,
you don't want to get in legal trouble,
right, I
so
don't
you
wanna
can't
get
be
in legal trouble.
specific.
and you're like the way
But it rhymes with
No, but-
Gorisons.
the way it's run,
Boris.
right? The way it's run, right?
Yeah.
And the people that are you're like,
It's
this
run
is-
by David Brent.
This is like a fucking ragtag operation, right? This is like, and they look at
I'm
stuff
amazed
weird.
that it hasn't burst into flames.
They look at stuff we're doing. They go, "Fucking hell, we should do that." I'm like, "You have no idea what you're doing, man." Right? And it's insane. And then we had one of these business coaches. We had him for free, so like, what can you expect? But like, basically, his advice was be more like Alex Ferguson. I was like, "Are you fucking joking?" Like,
Sorry,
You
who's
should-
Alex Ferguson?
Alex Ferguson was a
He was
manager
a
for Manchester
Man
United
United
during
for
their
years.
most successful period.
I got you. Right.
And Alex
sure.
Ferguson's got a reputation of being like very stern, very get the job done, but also quite. He looks after his people, but at the same time he kicks a boot at their head, sort of thing, right? Anyway,
Gotcha.
but he's like when he walks into a room, he owns it. He creates an atmosphere and all that sort of stuff. And his advice was like, "Be more like that guy." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Thank God
Right.
you're here to give us such
Just
helpful advice.
and most of these business coaches, right? You look at their fucking CV, and it's like went to uni, did fuck all, worked at like Barclays Bank, and then like became a business coach because you got like bored of it, right? And then they're a business coach for like 15 years, done fuck all, right? And you just,
Right.
it just looks sad. It just looks shit.
It's a non-job, isn't it? It's one of these
There
what
are-
I
there
call
are-
non-jobs.
We had a business coach for 7 years, and he was great. He was brilliant. So there are good ones, right? Don't want to slag them all off. There are good ones, but most of them, in my experience,
Yeah,
90
bit
to
shit. They're a bit
95%
shit.
of business coaches that I come across are fucking awful. Anyway, so no, I wouldn't write a book.
No, he won't write a book. Anyway, Duke, what? I can't remember the second question. Was it something about what advice would you give someone who'd never read a book before?
Like,
What
what
book?
No,
would
that
you
was
say
not
to
the
get?
question.
my book!
What
Yeah,
would
well,
you
Buy
say
book!
to get?
my book!
To get someone to read a book
You
who'd
get
never
people to
read a
read
book.
books if they don't read books. Well, that's not what do I say. Not what would I say? I heard someone say we were becoming a post-literate society. I don't believe that's true. That would mean that people don't read at all. That's not true. But we are becoming
Loads
a
of
post.
people read. Loads of people.
We are becoming a post-literature society, which I think is also a concern. Meaning that people don't take storytelling seriously as an art form, which I think is a huge problem. Now, that doesn't necessarily have to mean written books. I think written books are important, and I will answer your question soon, Saint Diesel.
What? When in chapter 3?
Yeah, exactly. I would say, look, here's the thing. I tell my students all the time, if you don't like reading, you haven't found the right books, right?
Yeah.
There are all sorts of books out there. And if you've never read a book that you were going to read a little bit of, and then you ended up reading all in one sitting, I feel a little sorry for you, because that is one of the most awesome experiences a human being can have, in the same way that, you know, if you've never played Skyrim, I feel sorry for you, because that's one of the most amazing experiences a person can have. If you've never played Portal or Portal 2, I feel sorry for you, etc. The point being that I think that the right books are spellbinding and amazing. Now, that's not the
I've never
only
read
reason.
those books.
Well, that's okay. They're out there. Keep looking. You'll find them.
No, Spellbinding and Amazing. What's that? I've never read those.
Oh,
two.
There probably
but
is a
that's
book called Spellbinding, I would
Those are the
imagine.
two. I'm sure there are, but those are two books I'm going to be writing soon.
Ah.
No, the point is that even if they're not always fun, books are important in a way that video games, TV shows, TikToks, movies are not.
I beg your pardon.
Because there are certain topics that you cannot understand in the more simplistic way that film and TV shows you things, right? So if you want to learn about the world, you need to read books. If you want to understand things that are complicated, things like philosophy, things like history, you really need to read books. And so I think that the fact that we are becoming a post-literature society, that we are becoming a society that is more addicted to fleeting technology, has serious consequences for democracy, the fate of our planet, et cetera, et cetera. So, oh God, what's his name? There's a guy who wrote a book called Amusing Ourselves to Death.
Dave.
Neil Postman, that's his name, Neil
You're
Postman. Roger Waters liked it so much, he named one of his albums Amusing Ourselves to Death as a tribute to the book. And it's a really good book. It came out in the 80s and it was about television, but I think it's about a lot of other things as well. And I will finish by saying that Walter Cronkite, the CBS news anchor for many, many decades, said in his memoir, the last chapter is about the future of news and journalism and democracy. He said the average 30-minute news broadcast has about the same number of words as 2/3 of a standard newspaper page. I'm going to say that again because it's a little hard to wrap your head around in the first run. The average 30-minute news broadcast has the same number of words as 2/3 of a newspaper page.
Yeah.
What that means is we're getting so much less information through a news broadcast on TV than we did through the newspaper, which just says, for depth of understanding, we have to read. Now, that's not very convincing to a lot of people, so I haven't gotten a lot of students to start reading for that reason, but I'm here to tell the truth, not necessarily tell people what they want to hear, so you're welcome.
My advice is, I And now get a woman pregnant, and then you have to read a pregnancy book. That's the only way I've started.
There you
really.
go. What up,
Yeah.
Duchess?
Yeah.
So
The Duchess is looking for something. What are you looking for?
gardening tools.
Anyway, my advice is just get a good book that you like. Duke, I think Duke's hit the nail on the head there.
Can't help it.
Because I
What?
didn't really read until I read the book called Moon by James Herbert.
Oh, Goodnight Moon. I like that book.
No, it's just called Moon.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
By James Herbert, and it's about a crazy woman in an asylum who's killing people. So she's like one of the
Ooh,
nurses,
you had me at killing people.
Pleasant.
and she's killing people off. And I
One
remember
for the kids
sitting.
at bedtime.
I remember
It's
sitting,
just like Goodnight
and,
Moon.
and I wasn't very old, probably about 15
Yeah.
years old, I guess. And I stopped up until about 2 o'clock in the morning to finish it.
See, you've had that experience, man.
So I've had
It's
that
a
experience
beautiful
with plenty
thing.
of books. I mean, when I had COVID last time, I sat and read a whole book in a day,
There it is.
and it was brilliant. And it's like, oh, what a book!
I can't.
So-
I read this in like 2 days. Fights. It's about a guy fighting in his neighborhood and being abused and hurt.
I'll tell you
trying to
what, the only
overcome
book that I
violence.
really liked, apart from Duke's obviously, was
So far.
I really liked that. Was it Extra Life by Tom Bissell?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah.
a good
I
book.
love that
That's a good
one.
book.
I agree.
I love that
Yeah.
book. But that was
I
the
agree.
probably the only book where I remember reading James and the Giant Peach as a kid, and I was into that. I like that,
Yeah.
and that always
There you
stuck in my head. That story.
Yeah, you see, Danny the Champion of the World is my favourite book by Roald Dahl, and not many people read that, and it's such a good story.
All
Typically,
So
you
there's some
pick the-
recommendations for you people. Go out, check them out.
Pick
Yeah.
the indie version.
Read books. Yay. And if you really want a good book, check out Delivery to Nimbus X. That's the best book ever written, man.
Check out Delivery to
Neil
Nimbus X.
Druckmann called it inspiring.
It did,
You know what's funny about that? I've put that into my pitch. I'm spending the summer trying to get agents and publishers to pay attention to the last book I wrote before I start to say screw it and put it out myself. I'm in the query letter. I'm including the thing about Neil Druckmann because agents and publishers want to know that you have like a platform and you could be able to market yourself and all that shit. So they don't know that what I actually should write is I have a video game podcast where I just click on a sound clip over and over again.
Find my book!
All right. Anyway,
We got a comment
so the
on
point is,
sorry, Duke. I didn't know you
Yeah,
wasn't finished. Go on, sorry.
that's okay. No, go ahead.
Fraser just said in the chat, Stu's camera, lol, because he's just ahead.
I know, I've got
It's not
lower
his
and lower.
camera,
again.
it's
It's because I
Stu
get comfy,
slurping
so
down.
I can't be
Move the
bothered.
Well, then
camera
move
down.
your camera down. Then.
I know,
Jesus.
but then it's like, oh, I have to sit up again. Oh,
Anyway,
there you go. I'm
It's
sat
very
up
amusing.
straight. It's because I
So-
get lower as I'm sat here, so I'll sit up straight.
I had somebody send me a rejection email, but it was an actual email from a real human, which is nice.
Nice.
And she said, like, I'm not a video game player, but I loved Last of Us, the TV show. So kudos for Neil Druckmann's compliment. And I was like, yeah, that's right. I am awesome, but it's not for me. I can't represent it at this time. Blah blah blah. I hate you. No, it's actually I really appreciate getting the actual email because usually it's silence
So can I just
or
say,
at the very
just a minute,
least
just a minute, just a
a
minute.
form email.
AI.
Did Neil Druckmann actually read Delivery from Nimbus X?
No.
I was gonna say he
No,
didn't
that
read
was the
that.
joke.
Duke said that. Because what happened is I listened to it. And
No, he did. He did. Shut up.
Oh, yeah,
Shut
he
up.
did.
Yes, he read all of my books. Actually,
read
he
all
started
of
with
them.
Nimbus
Did he?
X,
And
and
he
then he
said they
ordered
were
every single one of them.
inspiring.
And he's holding up
Oh
this
my
collection
God.
of short
And he-
stories.
didn't
Like,
he
this
say-
is inspiring.
Didn't he say he listened to every episode of the podcast after that as well?
He did, and he was like, "You
Yeah, he
guys
did.
should work for Naughty Dog," and I was like, "I don't have time for that. I'm teaching the
Yeah,
kids."
we
man."
we
He's
want to
like,
be
"Well, I just
independent
respect you
as
so
well.
much.
You
You're
know,
so
we don't want to be
inspiring."
owned.
He said he was. Pedro Pascal
Started
went up to him
crying.
and said, "Excuse me, Neil," and he went, "Shut up, Pedro. I'm trying to listen to the show."
And he said, "Oh, this guy's up." Pedro's like, "Oh, can I play this guy in the show? Give me a soundboard."
He was like, "Oh my God, I need to play Rocket League now."
We all know.
Yeah.
We all know Pedro's playing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Well, okay, fine. The one who plays Ellie can play me.
Right. Anyway, on that note, I think it's time to
She
do
has to
some
just cut her hair and put on a fake beard.
Sure.
All right, are we done?
some
Is this it? Are we doing shout
I
outs?
mean, shout
Doesn't need
outs
to put on a beard for Stu.
time for a shout out. Hey!
'Cause he doesn't know.
Hey, shout out.
All right, I'm going first.
You go first. Go.
I forgot that I wanted to make a mention of other video games last week, and I totally forgot. I went to one of them retro arcades. We have
Oh, yeah.
several of them in the town up the road.
Oh, yeah.
And so last week I was like, I'm gonna go play some games at one of them, and it was a proper kind of a dodgy place because there's no sign out front. It's just in the window. So I was driving by, and the computer on the phone was like, "You are at your destination." I'm like, "No, I'm not. This is some abandoned warehouse. I'm gonna get mugged and slaughtered." But it was the actual place, and I was like, they're not doing a lot to like get people into the place, but whatever.
Good.
It actually
Was
was
it
very
busy?
fun. It was not busy at all, but there was halfway through my visit there, because they do this thing. I'm sure it's what Arcade Club does as well, but I've never been in a place like this. It's like you run a tab and like you can charge a bucket of tokens to your credit card, and then you just have tokens. And it's like, oh, I've only ever seen them direct you to the change machine. And who has
No,
cash
Arcade Club is totally free once you've paid your.
Oh, see,
entry
that's
fee.
even better. Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
this
it's
place
just
isn't quite
everything's
at
on
that
free
level,
play.
but that's okay. They had a very good selection of games. This place, it's called, I don't remember what it's called, but anyway, just go look for arcades. But I realized that the best games to play in that situation are games that you cannot play on the meme emulator for reasons of the physical
the
structure.
controller,
In other
the
words,
controller, yeah.
right. You can't play Qbert on your PC because you don't have a joystick that works like that, right? You can turn yours, but I mean, come on, it's not the same thing, right? 720 skateboarding game, you got to twist that thing around, man. Paperboy, you got to push it forward and backward. I still suck at Paperboy, by the way.
The Arcade Club where you had two sort of joysticks and like one had to push one into the other, and whoever had the stronger push.
Oh wow,
would,
it's like physical.
Yeah,
action.
you're physically pushing each other, and that was really good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I realized that Crisis Zone is the best game that I played that day. Crisis Zone, I had never heard of it, but it was a shooter game that you actually had a shield. So you weren't just at the mercy of whatever was trying to shoot you. It was tactical. And the way you put the shield up is you stood on a pedal. So like it was involving the whole body, and it was like a really interesting experience because you push the shield up, and then they shoot at you, and then when they go to reload, you put the shield down, and it was a two-handed gun. It was just a really well-made game. So I found that at the end of my visit, but next time I go there, I might dump a whole bunch of tokens.
A light gun game.
It was a light gun game, yeah, exactly.
Right, I found it. It's on the.
And I enjoyed that. I didn't know there was a Rolling Thunder 2 because I used to love Rolling Thunder back in the day, and I didn't know there was a second one, and I played that, and it's not great, so fuck Rolling Thunder 2. But Crisis Zone is fun, and I took another whack at the RoboCop video game because that was one of my favorite arcade games back in the day. One time, this is true, I actually beat RoboCop, the arcade game, with 1 quarter.
Wow.
The whole thing, I beat it with 1 quarter, and I was so happy with myself that day. It was like when I was like maybe 15, and that was like one of the proudest moments of my life at that point, which says a lot about how sad my life was. But nevertheless, it was an accomplishment. And the nice thing about the RoboCop arcade game, people who have played it will know, the joystick was very responsive in a way that a lot of joysticks aren't. So it was fitting for RoboCop because it felt like very precise, and it gave you a haptic feedback when you like pushed in a certain direction. So it was great. But this one at the arcade place I went to, it was kind of old and kind of sticky, so it didn't really work well, and you couldn't go backward unless you like jam the thing over. But then I always feel bad because if I'm going to jam it over to the left so I can go backwards, I'm damaging it more for the next person. So I'm just like, I don't like being rough with controllers, and you shouldn't have to be.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
Fix Your Stuff, our place I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I must
anyway,
admit,
that was fun.
Arcade Club is slick because he has a workshop at the back, doesn't he? As soon as the machine's hasn't he? Just wheels it back in there, and someone fixes it up, and they're tinkering with stuff all the time.
Fraser said because Fraser's obsessed with pinball at the moment because he's gone. He went to like a pinball. Any pinball about in there, Duke? Was there any pinball?
There were a bunch of pinball games. I'm not crazy about pinball because I have the worst luck at pinball. Also, I suck at it. But you put it. First of all, pinball is usually 2 tokens instead of just 1 for most video games. That Crisis Zone was 2 tokens, but it was worth it.
So you were cheap.
Anyway,
you were cheap even back then, Duke.
It's cheap even now. Well, that's why I beat RoboCop with 1 quarter. I don't want to put more than 1 quarter. Yeah. But the pinball, I'll launch the ball and then I'm whacking it and like it bounces wrong and I'm like and then it goes through and it's gone and I'm like fuck. So it feels to me like there's a lot of pressure with pinball and I'm always worried that my ball's gonna go away and I lose my ball and I go it was not fun. So
well, that's pinball, I guess.
It is pinball. I'm just not good at it. I think
you're obviously not a pinball wizard, Duke.
Good. I am not a pinball wizard. Nobody would ever say that guy plays a mean pinball.
Yeah, Duke.
All right,
does
one
not
last
play
shout
a
out
mean
for
pinball.
me. Susan LH sent me a really cool article about Egyptian hip hop. So thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. I will probably try to share it with my students next year in the hip hop class. They probably won't care because they tend to be very disinterested in anything that's not in their phones. But you can try. You never know, right? And shout out, of course, to Antonio and Amar. Antonio for the Rocket League and Amar for the fun stuff he sends me on WhatsApp. And everybody listening and everybody participating in the chat, thank you. We love you. Write in about this XO2 game that Chinny talked about, because that's going to be the next Play My Game. And you all can discuss it.
XO1.
Right, XO1.
XO2, one, who cares? XO.
Well, they got to find it.
Two
So
was
that's
the
why.
sequel,
Okay.
yeah. Right, it should be one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's my shout out.
That's suspicious.
Go ahead, who's next?
I'm going to go next. I'm just going to basically shout out all the people who followed us on Threads this week. You know, random. There's been a few randomers just pop up that I don't think we follow on Instagram or follow us on Instagram. So that's pretty cool.
Hey, yeah.
You know, just randomers.
Well, hopefully
following us.
the algorithm was putting our stuff in front of them, and they were like, "Yeah, I'll follow."
Yeah,
this
I like what
baby."
these guys are saying. I've said about three things.
Cool.
I don't know. Yeah, and they guys, shall we read some responses? We haven't got a jingle for this, have we?
Sure. I'll make one. Threads.
There you go. Is that it?
That's it.
It's a bit rubbish, can I just say?
Well, I'm hoping Duke's going to remix it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
Not this
maybe
lifetime.
I did ask you. I said, "What's your go-to gaming machine and why?" You know, because at one time it was like Xbox 360 or a PS3 back in the day, as we all remember.
No, it's a gun.
Now it's just a gun. Now it's a gun.
No, it's a semi-automatic.
Magic Lozenge says Xbox for me still.
That's Seth.
Still much prefer the
Seth
controller
Lozenge.
and ecosystem, though I did pick up a PS5 for the exclusive. Lately, though, I've been going back to the 3DS.
Fucking hell, Seth.
Wow.
3DS. And a great little retro emulator handheld that Chris MJW sent me. The Anbernic RG351MP. Catchy name, I know.
You talk about indie games. Seth loves an indie game. Loves
He does.
it.
Been primarily going back to GBA games. Never played one back in the day. It's really a
Damn,
retro
Game Boy
style
Advance, that's hardcore.
sweet spot. Games are ace. So there you go. That's
They're
what
right.
he says.
All right. I wouldn't
Jamie
I wouldn't make a
360.
podcast or anything.
Jamie 360. I don't know what he's gonna say. Any guesses? Someone called Jamie 360.
I think he's going to be a big Jaguar fan. Sega
He
Saturn.
is.
Sega
He
Saturn.
is. Xbox Series X. There you go.
Bam.
Who knew? But spending more time on the minis and GameCube at the moment. Everyone's going retro.
Everybody's fucking off this generation, isn't
Fucking
they?
retro. Teflon 12 said for a couple of years now, he's been pretty exclusively been my PC and occasionally Switch. But I've just got a Steam Deck and I'm really enjoying it. So,
Oh, snap.
Steam Deck for Teflon. And
Oh, sorry, I
hardly-
forgot. One more shout out to Mr. Hero, because he made this awesome shirt that I'm wearing. So thank you, Mr. Hero.
Nice.
What?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to show the shirts that I've got from Mr.
I
Hero,
know,
but he
yeah,
never
he
sent
went,
me one.
fuck Chinny.
Uh-huh.
And Hardly Down that finally obviously says PC stroke Steam Deck.
Of course.
I am still so happy with my Steam Deck. It has been instrumental getting me out of my gaming slump.
Get a room, Dan.
Games like, I can't believe I've had it for almost a year now.
and
Yeah, they
Stu-
are fucking. They're so good. I'm the same.
You and
I've had mine
Stu,
for almost
you
a
and
year.
Stu get a room, and you wouldn't be banging because you'd be too busy playing your
Actually,
Steam Deck.
I'm with him on this. I can't believe I've had mine for nearly a year because I have used that thing so much.
Yeah, but like, that's how time works.
Chinny's slumping too.
I'm
Yeah,
still
too quick,
slumping
man.
well because he's picking up the Steam Deck.
Steam Decks are amazing. Chinny, over to you.
Oh my God, I'm just slumping. Hang on, Stu.
Died.
Now we can't hear him at all.
Okay.
Chinny, and
Can you
I
hear me
think I'm
now?
so great.
Yeah,
Okay, now we
well,
hear you.
I like
Go ahead.
playing games and I'm going to shout out. Oh, sorry, you're back.
Can you hear me
I was
now?
just filling in for you.
Yes, we hear you. Go. Do your
Uh,
shout outs.
Shout out to John.
Yes.
Shout out to
Oh, it's
Neil.
not comfortable.
Shout out to Neil Druckmann.
Yeah, my buddy.
Yeah.
We all know that you
He's the
actually
wind beneath my wings.
Yeah, Duke is inspirational to us all.
you
That's right.
you killed that other director, and that's why he's leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
He just hates you. That's why he's leaving.
Or he's blackmailing him. Say I'm in good. It's the
Yeah, he
studios.
did. Yeah, who knows?
I'm
Just
gonna give
cut
you
it
5
out.
seconds.
My mic keeps.
Yeah,
cutting out.
okay. Hurry up. Do your goddamn shout outs for real.
He's
Ah,
done.
Just like the. We're done.
Oh yeah, just.
All
fit.
right, show's over. No refunds. You heard the robot. Get
Oh,
out.
I'll go on now, John. Will you, Steve.
He's got to get up at 5:30 in the morning.
Shout out to Steve and John
Steve.
and Bob, Barry.
What about Steve? What about Fraser? Shout out Fraser.
No, not Fraser. Ken.
I'll shout out Matt. He said he wanna listen, but he hasn't yet. So Matt, shout out Matt.
Shout out to Ken.
Mateo was like,
Shout out to Ian and Rob, and shout out to Pete, and shout out to Rafa and
Shut the hell up!
Parminder. Shout out to Parminder. And
Can I just say, by the way, talking of Ian's, right?
bloody Ian's.
Why does someone with the name Ian spell it with an I? It just makes no sense.
Well, you mean the first letter's I?
No, they have I-A-I-N.
Because
That's a way of spelling Ian. No, that's not
is there
Ian.
different ways
it's
to spell
Ian.
Stuart?
There's two ways to spell
Exactly.
Stuart, and they both spell Stuart.
So you know what? Fuck all Stuarts.
It's not Ian.
Because language is wacky. And
Why the
that's
fuck do
just
they have
the
an
way
I
that-
in it?
Because
Ian.
we have things that people say, and we try to come up with how should this be written
Ian.
down. It's it's an approximation. That's what language is.
What about tomb and then comb? It's just one letter
No, you-
difference.
Exactly. Why?
Makes no difference.
Laughter and daughter? Explain that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? Fuck it.
Fish. How do you spell fish?
Fish.
How do you spell fish?
F-I-S-H.
G-H-O-I-T-O-T-I.
What? Hold on. Say that again.
G-H
Yeah.
G-H-O-T-I spells fish.
What?
What?
Yeah, it's hard to do without the visuals, but you can. I don't know. How do you spell enough?
E-N-O-U-G-H.
Right. So G-H says right.
Yeah.
Enough.
Enough.
Right. Okay. W-O-M-E-N says
W-O-M-E.
M-E-N.
Woman or women, I guess.
Oh.
Women,
Women.
plural. It's women. So the letter O says I. Right. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And then emotion is E-M-O-T-I-O-N. Right. So T-I says sh. So fish. G-H-O-T-I. You're welcome.
I get you. Yeah, that's
Language is ridiculous.
language is that's coming
The
from
English
an English
language is
teacher.
especially
No,
ridiculous.
the English language apparently is like one of the hardest to learn because it's
Yes,
fucking stupid.
because
Well,
most
there's so many
languages,
things
you have
that's-
to learn
that
rules
sound the same,
and
that mean
exceptions, and that's it.
completely
And then English,
different.
you learn a few rules and then 700 million exceptions, and people go, "Why is it like that?" And the people go,
Because English.
English.
Why does everybody speak it? I don't know. Well,
'Cause we expect them to.
Cultural hegemony and imperialistic march
because-
of language.
And because British people are lazy and don't learn other languages much.
Right.
yeah.
Well,
And we took over
same
the
with
world.
Americans.
Yeah, we
That's
did.
right.
We
Sun
don't
that
need
said on
to
this
speak
language,
other
bitches.
languages because we expect them all to speak
I love
English.
it. Like, I'll shout out to
Yeah.
Greg because he was celebrating the 4th of July and he was like, we ditched your country. I was like, yeah, but you still have our language. We still won.
That's
Fuck you.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
We still
It
won.
is
All they
totally
know
true.
about the culture is beer and tapas.
Yeah, and you can't spell things, and you don't bloody say I give a shit instead of I don't give a shit. So who cares?
I could give.
That's
I
not
could care
spelling,
less.
but
I
yeah,
could
I
I could
agree.
care less.
I could care
I
less.
could give
All
a
right,
shit.
are we done? Is that it?
Fish.
Yeah, that's it. We're done.
Fish.
Fish.
G-H-O-T-I. Tell your
What do you
friends.
call a fish with no eyes? There you go.
What did the fish say when he hit the hard surface in the water?
I don't know what.
Damn.
Damn. There you go. Two fish talking to each other and says, "Who's driving this tank?"
A fish takes
God.
a shit. I just wanted to take
Best
part.
joke
I just
ever.
Come
wanted
on,
to
you
take
need a
part.
fish joke. That's not a
I
fish
just wanted to
joke.
take
Great.
part.
It's a good joke.
I wanted to be.
I'm going to tell that to my
It's
students.
It's an
next time we do
anti-joke.
joke
It's,
day.
it's an
Yeah.
An anti-joke.
What did the farmer say when he lost his tractor? Where the hell is my tractor?
yeah, that was the best jokes. The most famous
it, yeah.
joke in the world is an anti-joke.
Yeah. What's
chicken
what's the
cross
difference
the road.
between a
the
frog
chicken
and a
cross the road to get
tractor?
to the other side. so.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. What's the difference
What's
between a
two?
frog and a tractor?
One's a frog, one's a tractor.
green.
isn't it?
No, you can't drive a frog. What's the matter with you two?
See, that's
Okay.
the anti-joke. There you go.
You can't drive a frog. It's true.
All right. Well, Stu's got to get up early, so we're going to end it here.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Thank you
go.
all so much. Have a good week.
Yeah,
Have a
thank
good
you,
2 weeks.
everybody.
I will see you
Did I spell
right
fish?
at the end. Of
Did I
July,
spell fish
guess.
right in the show notes, Duke? Have I spelled it right?
I closed the show notes, but I will open them back up to look and tell you if you
did.
have.
The episode
GHOTI.
name.
Yes, that is correct. Yep.
Ah.
Good work. All right. Have a good 2 weeks. I will see you. Let's see. I'll be back on the 30th of July. So right at the end there.
So I've got to do the intro and outro and stuff.
Somebody's got to record. Somebody's got to do sound effects.
I'm
I
gonna
ain't
do it
gonna
on
be around.
different
I might do a
nights.
speak pipe, but
oh
I
my
ain't promising
god,
nothing.
it's a whole host
gonna
of
be
shit going down.
Fucking mad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Peace
crazy.
out, bitches.
See ya.
See you later. Right, see you, Chinny, even because that Duke is gone already. And I'll
All
speak
women do. See you, Stu.